Access denied. Where's your god now?
Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight we're going to do things just a little bit differently. If you've been watching the Boise State Twitch channel for a while, you probably heard our advertisements for Black Box VR. It's something that both Baratel and I have been checking out recently. It's a ton of fun, and today, not only going to get our testimony, we're going to get to witness it firsthand. It's the 2020 Winter Invitational Tournament for Black Box VR. We're going to have 4 matches tonight in the quarterfinals as we slowly whittle our way down to the top 8 competitors in this Winter Invitational. I am Michael Fish Fisher, going to be joined alongside by Amber Super Mom Bomb Parker, who, of course, what's your official title at the Boise Black Box VR?
I am the location manager for the Boise gym, yes.
Hey, you helped Baratel and I get set up about 2 weeks ago, so if you want to go check it out, it's in the Zions Bank building downtown. If you're in the Boise area, it is a ton of fun, and now you're going to get to see it firsthand, and I'm really excited to see because I'm just in Silver League. I just got started. There's a ranking system like any other game. These are diamond players, Amber. These are the guys that know the game really, really well, and they're going to put out a ton of reps, and they're going to have some pretty good strategies as well.
Absolutely. As a gold league, these guys are way above what I can do myself, so it's going to be really fun to watch them.
Yeah, so this is just a totally different game if you haven't seen it before. It's a gym, but you're really just playing a game. So here is what the Winter Invitational Tournament is going to look like. We've got 16 competitors taking each other on in Black Box VR. How it's going to work, they won't be playing each other. They'll each be facing off against the same boss, a Diamond League boss called Kamiko. Then we'll have the crystals are going to be the first score. Whoever destroys the most crystals will win. If they're tied, we'll have a score differential tiebreaker, which you'll see how the score works, and we can explain it as we go. And then if there is another tie in that, we'll go to total volume lifted, because while this is a video game, this is also a gym, and there is some fitness aspect to it. So our first matchup of the night is going to be Shane versus Preston here. I cannot wait to get this started. I've been telling everyone I know about this, and they're like, hey, it sounds kind of cool, but I really don't know what it's like. I'm really excited for everyone to see exactly what this looks like, Amber, as we see some of the tutorial that you'll go through when you sign up.
Yeah, this will be a great first matchup, and I'm going to love sharing the game and how it works with everybody here.
Yeah, so I mean, I will say, I'll admit, the first couple times you go, you're like, okay, come on, I want to get going here. But they got to explain how it all works. I mean, you'll see once we get into the match with these Diamond League players through the top of the top, how it really works. But yeah, basically you have some rope cables there. There's the 2 lanes you can see, one on the left, one on the right. Mm-hmm. The gates that are the 100%, you got to destroy those, and then you can attack the crystal, which of course is the name of the game, destroying as many crystals as possible to be able to move on to the next round.
Yes.
And I mean, so do you have a preferred lane? Do you just go back and forth? I mean, because usually, you want to destroy one lane and the other because you want to rack up most points. This time, they're probably just going to be powering down one lane. So do you have a preference at all?
I actually let the AI lead me in that. So I go ahead and load up my exercise and then wait to see what they're deploying. And once they drop that in a lane, then that's kind of the lane I stick with for the rest of that round. The AI typically alternates. But some people, they're all right all the way through all of the rounds. But I just like to at least give a little bit of a challenge to the AI when I'm doing my stuff.
You can see the exercises there as we look at the tutorial video. You'll have 3 single target attacks, the row, the squat, and the chest press. They will just do damage to 1 enemy, minion, or champion. And then you have the AoE attacks. Any gamer, of course, though, the area of effect attacks. You had those at the bottom. So those will do less damage in one hit, but they'll be able to hit multiple people. So this really is, this is not just your simple, all right, load up your one exercise and go to town. There's a lot of thinking of, hey, there's a lot of guys stacked up right here. Let me switch to an AoE attack. This really has a lot of, game mechanics you see in normal video games in a gym, which I think is one of my favorite parts.
Absolutely. When the AI throws something at you like a minion crew and they all come mobbing at you at once, you definitely want to switch up your attack. I've even reloaded a separate one and been like, oh, never mind. We're going this way. So it definitely keeps you on your toes, and it makes you actually work out muscle groups and stuff that maybe you didn't really want to that day as well. So all the way around, it's really good.
And we saw the win conditions there. They are all facing off against the same boss. First win condition, just the total number of crystals destroyed. If there is a tie, we'll go to point differential. You get 500 points for destroying a gate, 1,000 for destroying a crystal, so whoever has more points than the boss. And if that is somehow tied, we will go to a double tiebreaker, which, as we talked about, this is still a gym. There's still fitness involved, so it will be total volume worked out. And here is the Kamiko stats. This is just beyond my comprehension, Amber. And you're in gold. I'm just saying, I'm a little silver. I look at this and I'm like, oh no, please, I would get just run over.
Oh yeah, this would completely crush me still too. I think my highest level champion I have at this point is like a 9. So yeah, this is intense. So these guys and what they're going to be doing, it's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, so you see the different damage types are in the same exercise group. So you've got fire, you've got water or ice, whatever you want to call it, and then you have wind. It has the triangle, like any other game, like a lot of other games have, where one is really strong against the other. Of course, water will deal double damage to fire, fire will deal double damage to wind, and wind will deal double damage to water. So there is some strategy of if they're deploying a wind champion, someone like a Winja, maybe you want to switch over to a fire attack to be able to run through that champion, because then you get more energy crystals or energy points to be able to summon your own champion. So there's going to be a lot of strategy here on how you want to handle her. And I think the other thing that I'm seeing is she has 2 level 30 wind attacks. So I would expect water champions to be very, very few and far between for any of our competitors today.
Absolutely. This is going to be a lot of upper body.
You see here, here's our first matchup. It is Shane and Preston. I think once we hop into it, if you haven't checked it out, you will immediately understand how it's going on. It is a lot like any other video game. But before we get to that, let's toss it over to our pre-match interview. Shane, who's competing against Preston, going to let us know how he thinks he's going to do in this matchup and how he can win.
I've been doing fitness probably pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
You know, I was an active kid, did sports and stuff like that, but been weightlifting for probably 20 years,
Okay.
you know, off and on.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Have you ever, let me ask you this, have you ever struggled with fitness at all before?
Oh, sure. I mean, I've struggled in the past, you know, just trying to keep it consistent, but pretty much just always, you know, get back on the train and just keep going.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. What's the hardest part about fitness, in your opinion?
Consistency. You know, because you've got those temptations in life, you know, you stop going for a while, one day can turn into a week, but yeah, it's just finding the right program that works for you, that you enjoy, and just being consistent about it and keep going.
Definitely, for sure, for sure. And what do you like about Black Box VR?
How fun it is, you know, and it keeps me coming back. You know, I'm at home kind of, you know, just relaxing. I can jump on the app, I can check my stats, I can, you know, build my deck, and it gets me pumped for the next day or from whenever I'm gonna, you know, schedule my workout. So I love it just because of that.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And what are your thoughts on today's battle? Going into today's battle?
I'm a little nervous, you know, I do have to say that, you know, Preston's a strong competitor. So, but no, I'm a little nervous, but I think I can do it. You know, I'll just push as hard as I can.
Right on. That leads me to the next question is, how do you feel about your competitor? You're going against one of the #1 seeds here
Yep.
in the Valley. What are your thoughts towards your opponent?
I
here?
have full respect for my competitor, Preston. He's a strong competitor. He put up some big numbers, so hopefully I can, you know, match him or beat him. That's my goal.
Right on. Well, where do you see, last question, we'll finish with this one, where do you see Black Box VR taking you in the future as far as fitness goes?
Really, I think just, you know, being consistent, you know, taking me to a more consistent, you know, phase of working out. Because, you know, it's so addicting, because it's just, you know, it's fun. And so I just, yeah, it wants me, I just want to keep coming back and keep doing it. So I think that's just more consistent working out.
Definitely. Well, thanks, Earl. Appreciate it, and good luck.
I don't know if Shane was being respectful or was maybe a little nervous about his chances here, because he was definitely, you know, Preston's pretty strong. I was expecting some more supreme confidence. We're going to kick things off right here so people can get a look at exactly what we were describing earlier in the pre-show, Amber.
Oh, sounds great.
Looks like we've got, no one's destroyed anything yet, and already Kamiko's got 2 champions that looks like the Shane has to deal with. So he's going to have to use a lot of damage just battling through those champions.
Yeah, and in that way he can just get as much elixir as possible, and then he can deploy champions to support him while he's doing other exercises.
Yeah, so as Amber mentioned, every time you destroy an enemy champion, you can summon your own with your elixir. You saw them on the right side of the screen right there. Doesn't look like Shane's going to deploy any, and right now he's just trying to keep his own side alive, while Preston's not really having any sort of trouble with anything attacking his own games.
Yeah, it looks like Preston's already up by 500 points there. No issues so far.
Switch it to the... Well, I'm just looking at those damage numbers, because the higher your attacks are, the more damage they do, and 1,200 is just a number I would never even dream of seeing on my screen right now.
I feel you there. Yeah, definitely Preston is a very strong competitor. I'm glad I don't have to face up against him.
And each attack has 3 different levels of damage. You can see it on the sort of the middle left of the screen there. There's just the base damage. Then there's Supercharged, which you hit after a certain number of time, which does more damage. And then there's Hysterical, which unlocks about 5 minutes into the match. That does 4 times damage. And if you get Hysterical going on something that you're really strong at, you can power through a gate or a crystal incredibly quickly.
Yes, you can take it down very fast. It's super helpful, and the best way to do that is just full extension on your reps, and then just really push them hard.
Yeah, and I think one thing that is really cool and definitely helps me out is there is a max rep limit. That is, the game will say, hey, you've hit your max rep. You've got to do something else. Otherwise, the gamer and me be like, all right, we're just going full hysterical mode. We're just pumping them out until then. So I really like, you just see it right there, actually, that you hit max reps, you got to switch it up because you can't just keep spamming one exercise because then you just have like really big arms and then you'd have no legs.
Or you'd end up collapsing from too many squats. So we'd have to will you out. So either way, it is good that we
Put the handles down and load up something new.
it's good that it forces us to mix it up a lot. And currently, right now, it looks like both Shane and Preston have 500 points up there on the board. Kimiko's still sitting at a good solid 0.
See, both of them have destroyed a gate. Looks like Shane went for the right one, Preston went for the left one, which does mean that the crystal is damageable.
Yes.
When there's nothing in the right lane for you to hit with your normal exercises. I did think we saw, as we see, it looks like Shane just trying to clear off. Once again, he's got a ton of champions in his gate. His right side gate is incredibly low.
It really is. I'm trying to see just about how much elixir he's got going on right now. Oh, he's got a decent amount. So if he chose to right now, he could deploy. Well, he's going to deploy a tank right now.
He's got a title staring right in his face, and look, that's the one thing I've noticed so far is Preston has had sort of a free lane. As we're looking at Shane right now, Shane's had to spend a lot of time dealing with enemy champions right on top of his gate, so he hasn't had a lot of time to do damage. I mean, you see the crystal's at 99% right now.
Exactly, and that just really just shows like how much this will drive you, because what you want to do is you just want to get those guys out of your way as quickly as possible so you can get to that crystal. Oh, and there goes Shane's gate.
Yeah, so it is tied for now, but of course they're not competing against the boss. They're competing just against each other. And you see Preston, he was off screen. Not only did he get a crystal, he's got one crystal down. That crystal's worth 1,000 points, so he's already up by 1 right now and starting it over, because after you destroy crystals, there's about like a 10-second break, let you reset, let you get a little rest. So Shane's got a long way to go if he wants to catch up.
He really does at this point. That is going to be really hard to get that ground caught back up on.
Does have the double damage mode though, so he's going to be able to, if he wants to, rip right through that crystal if he can have an opportunity.
Absolutely. So what is...
Trying to wait for this. There's a little bit of downtime where the machine that you can see in their little picture has to move the cables. So there's some time where you're kind of just sitting there waiting for it to move.
Yeah, it can only go so fast. That's why we typically like to do the load the exercise and then deploy a champion while that configures. And that way it's just a good solid strategy that there is no gap happening.
And you hear the supercharge for Shane, meaning his attack does double damage. He actually just hits the hysterical, so now it's doing 4 times the damage. I mean, you can see he's doing over 4,000 damage in attack to the crystal.
Yes.
Should be able to destroy this one and even things up for now. Yep, there it is.
There we go.
He's back, as we said. The overall points won't come into effect unless we have a tiebreaker. The main thing we're looking at right now is crystals destroyed. Right now, it looks like Preston has another gate down. So Shane's got to not only take down a gate, but then take down another crystal to keep up with Preston. But they are both tied with about 22 minutes left.
Yes, they are.
Do you have any sort of exercise pattern you? Because I kind of just go like in the row. I go row, squats, chest press, or I go down to the lat pull down. I just kind of go in like a cycle.
I really let the AI again decide that for me. If I'm getting just say I already deployed a rock dude, so I've got a fire element out there, but then the next thing I know they're just gonna throw more fire at me. That's just not gonna work. So then I'm gonna probably switch my stuff up and I'm gonna go over to a water exercise. I typically like to try to have 2 elements out on my side, and then my exercise becomes that third.
Yep.
And then everything's covered.
And I think I heard this from somebody, you may have to correct me if I'm wrong, we saw the levels of Kimiko. The players have their own levels as well. Do the NPCs take that into account? Like if you have a low fire level, that they're kind of going to maybe spam win champions to make you do more fire exercises? Is there sort of that kind of AI?
There is definitely a rumor that it does feel like it's like, well, it must have known I didn't want to do leg day today, because that's all it threw at me was just air. And once that happens, like, you get a bunch of like big Sues and stuff thrown at you, you're just gonna have to do deadlifts and squats.
We do see Preston has lost a gate, and he's waiting. He's got the Kamiko crystal at 79%. Shane's still looking for his first gate. Looks like he's going to deploy. He said he queued up an exercise. You can see in the bottom right screen the machine moving, and he's going to deploy. Looks like a big rock dude while he's waiting for the machine to get ready.
That is Preston's favorite right there.
And each champion has, you can see here, sort of like a punch slice combo. Mine are really simple. I look at what he's doing. I'm like, what? How many? Like, mine are just like, slice, slice, punch, punch, and I'm good to go. He's got some pretty intense ones from the bigger level champions like the Rock Dude.
Absolutely. All of the tank classes have a more complex hit pattern, and it takes just a little bit longer to deploy them. It also costs more elixir to put them out, but it is worth it, especially as you level them up. And eventually, that health that they have is totally worth it.
Doesn't look like Preston has hit the double damage mode.
Not yet. Oh, but he's working on a tower.
So walk us through the towers, because I haven't unlocked those yet. I'm still a little bit too new. So walk us through the towers, Amber, and what they do and how you can kind of use them to your advantage in a game like this where you're trying to have the most crystals destroyed.
So as it works right now, we have a air tower, which is the Tesla coil, and then we have our fire tower. When you do an exercise related to that element, it actually ends up building up on his table there. You saw there was like a bar it needed to fill up. Once that's filled up, then you can go over, choose it, put it into the exercise hopper, and then you're going to end up doing, like right now, he's doing the tricep push down. So when you do that, that's going to build your fire tower. The faster you build it is going to give you a longer shield on top of that. You plop it on the field. The great thing about these is that they don't get affected by firehawks, and they don't disappear at the end of each round either.
Well, that's pretty nice, because as we talked about, when you destroy a crystal, which it looks like Preston has just done, so he has picked up now his second crystal. Shane's still trying to find his second. Everything resets. Your energy elixir resets to a preset value. I think it's 1,800. Every champion on the field just gets wiped. So having that more permanent structure, I mean, it does take a little bit of time where you're not doing damage, but that can really help you kind of defend your base and start to maybe put some damage on the other side. So I kind of like the tower strategy we saw from Preston.
It is super helpful, especially you have a choice of where you can place those. So it can keep the enemies back off your gate and just ties them up, and then you can focus on the other lane if need be.
See, he does have a hysterical squat, but this time it's Preston who's got to be defending his own gate. He has the fire tower out there as well. It does look like, unfortunately, Shane has lost his own gate, so he might have to race against Kamiko there for crystal. He does look like Kamiko's crystal's at 6%, so he should win here after one more exercise and tie things up for a little bit.
Indeed. It looks like we're going to go with, what did Shane just load up in there? He's going to go water.
He just wants to power through as fast as possible. One more, maybe two? Yeah, it's not supercharged. We need one more. There we go. So he gets a little bit of break. He has caught back up to Preston. 2 crystals destroyed each, but you can see Preston already has a bunch of minions walking down that left lane to try and destroy another gate and get another crystal opened up for him. Crystals, of course, the name of the game for this. Usually it's just overall scores, how you beat whatever boss you're playing if you're in a single player mode, but for this it is number of crystals destroyed for Shane versus Preston. That's going to be our winner in advance to the next round.
Exactly. And Preston's been using the time-honored strategy of the Rock Dude and the Scotty combo. You want to put out your tank, and then you want to put out a ranged attack. You can put her, put Scotty back a little bit. She'll just keep wailing at that gate and the crystal. Super helpful, whereas Rock Dude just absorbs a ton of damage. So it's a really, really smart combo to use.
Yeah, I actually thought that was something that was really interesting, is that you mentioned it a little bit, you got the Firehawks that are, of course, as it kind of hints in the name, they are birds, so your melee champions can't attack them, so you either have to use the exercise or you can use something like a ranged champion, as you mentioned, to take them down. So I thought that was another really cool thing, that there's a lot of mental games in this where it's not, all right, let's just queue up an exercise and I'm just going to go to town. It's like, okay, where do I put my range champion? Okay, they're deploying a Firehawk on the other side. All right, I've got to now switch to a different exercise to take down the Firehawk, or I'm going to lose my own gates. I think there's a lot of mental games in this. Not only are you working out your physical save, you're like, okay, where do I put this fire guy? Where are they going to go water? It's a lot of mental gymnastics you're doing on the fly of, okay, where do I need to put fire and what's the next attack I want to do? I think it's really, really cool how it's sort of a mental physical combination here.
It really is, and it's great. Inside of the app, that's where you get to go and pick those cards for your certain champions, and you build your deck out before you go in and level them up. It really changes the gameplay up. So we all like to share our favorites and our favorite combos. I get picked on a little bit for choosing to stick with my Sunbird, but having more than one, because see, the Firehawk will just clear the field. That's your power up. But when you have things like Water Owl and Sunbird that just do a constant barrage from above, that forces the AI like, well, if you don't have any ranged on the field, then I'm good. So it is nice to have a good mix up inside of your deck.
Yeah, I hate it more than anything where I'm like, all right, I'm going to throw it down, my Windja on one side, maybe a Tidal on the other side, and then the AI is like, okay, I'm just going to put a flying minion out. I'm like, all right, listen here, computer. Don't mess with me right now. I wasted all of my energy elixir. We do see that Preston's actually taking down his crystal, so he's got a pretty comfortable lead right now over Shane.
He really does. He's just knocking right through those crystals. Looks like right now he's going to work on his Tesla tower there, which is going to be the bicep curl. So he loaded that up behind him, and now he's going to deploy a champion. And I actually don't have the champion that he's deploying right now, so that hole punch pattern is not something I've got down yet. But I do hear Spark Crows are worth it, so once they're available, I'm supposed to snag them.
Yeah, it is really... And we've talked a lot. I mean, like, this is really, to me, and this is what the biggest draw to me. It's the reason I keep coming back. There's a lot of video game essence where you don't just, you don't start out super overpowered and you can just run through everything. You have to rank up, as you mentioned. Once you get to a certain rank, you get the Spark Crows. Once you get to a certain level in Silver League, where I am, that's when you can unlock the tower. So there's a lot of reward for keep coming back over and over again. It doesn't feel like, once you get placed, you're like, okay, I've kind of beat the game, I have all the really strong stuff. The higher and higher you go, which of course the more fit you're getting, the better and better things you get, which I think is really, really cool and is another reason you want to keep going back as often as possible. So I really like how this game is designed. They know what gamers want, at least what I wanted, because this is perfect.
It really makes it easy to stick with a fitness plan, which is one of the hardest things. Consistency and adherence. It's tricky for anybody. Some people, you might think they make it look so easy, but it is not always easy to make yourself go work out. It is up in there to push you when you're in a regular gym environment to go, oh, you're just going to do those extra reps on that chest press. Be like, nah, I'm going to go a little slower. I'm going to check my Instagram or something. Yep. This one's like, no, you do it or you lose, and nobody wants to lose. We're just driven to be competitive. People never start a game. They never open up Monopoly and go, oh, well, I'm going to lose today. We just don't do that. So this really gets into that. And then we just like that feedback loop of just, hey, you did this awesome thing. Here's your reward. Come back, do more. We'll give you more, and just keep building on that.
Yeah, and they don't really have a huge impact in the game, but the little minions you could see there's the Firehawk we were actually talking about from Shane to clear the field. As I say, the little minions that you can kind of see, just the robot guys, every time you work out, I think it's as long as you work out within 78 hours, they get a little stronger. Yep. And so there is that sort of thing where you, just by continuously going once every 3 days, you're making just your other minions stronger. So there's that whole thing of, well, I don't want to break my streak. I don't want to have my minions reset because, they're the little guys. Like anyone who plays League of Legends will know the minions sometimes can help you out. So it's like, I can't let my minions get weaker, so I got to keep going every 3 days. There's a lot of, that I got to keep going back for XYZ reason for Black Box that I really, really like. And we do see Shane here. He's gotten this crystal pretty low. He might actually be able to keep pace with Preston here. He did all that work for a champion just to see the crystal get destroyed, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But he definitely, deploying that Firehawk like he did, got him some breathing room and gave him that ability to push through that.
Looks like he's also used both of his power-ups as well. I'm guessing based off the top there where there's no 2 green little dots. What are the power-ups? I have a couple of them. I don't really use them. Are they get more and more important the higher you get? I know it's like a grenade, or you can make your champions do double damage. Do they get a little bit more important at these diamond levels that we're seeing these 2 guys at?
Oh, absolutely. What will end up happening is you will unlock different levels of those power-ups. So there's always going to be your basic, you're going to have your supercharged, and then you're going to have your hysterical. Once you use a hysterical grenade, there's just no going back. It does so much damage. It's totally worth it. We also have healing, and there's the berserk, which you said it boosts your champion, and of course each rank of those goes up and varying percent. The healing's nice too because you can actually use it on your crystal.
That's kind of nice.
So they also have a freeze. I've actually accidentally used one. It wasn't intentional, but I didn't change up my deck before I went in, and I was like, I guess we're using this one. And it actually was pretty helpful because I needed to get their tank to hold off for a second while I got my stuff together because I had just kind of fell behind a bit. So they can be really helpful.
I do see that Preston has, I think, gotten another crystal down.
Yes.
So he is a full crystal ahead of Shane, and not only that, he's working on another one right now with just the chest press, and with no champions from Kamiko, he's kind of just able to do a ton of free damage to that crystal.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's really seizing an opportunity right now.
Nice shot.
And I see it briefly there. It's you have different weight sets. You can go light, medium, or heavy. If you go on heavy, that's the only time you can get hysterical. Do you just sit on heavy the whole time? Because the couple times I've gone, I'm like, I can do heavy for like 5-10 minutes. I'm like, nope, we're going medium. We're going to go medium to close things out here.
It does. It depends on what my last workout I did and kind of how I'm feeling. There are some people that they can just do heavy a lot. I use it strategically, so it's when I really was seeing my gate getting whittled down. I can take my strongest element, which for me currently is squats, and then I'll bump that up to heavy and just crush them as quickly as possible, because you do get that extra damage. But there are some days where it's a light day, and you're just like, well, it's going to be more reps and more champions, and wear them down a little bit slower. So again, another way to use strategy is using those different weight selections as well.
Got about 8 minutes left. We see Preston up a crystal, has an open gate on the left side, so he can attack the crystal once he clears out those minions. And the other thing that I do want to mention, you can kind of see, and this is something that people brought up to me since you're not at a gym, you're not being supervised, is, well, how do you know you're doing the workout properly? The AI does a good job. You can kind of see the circles on Preston's screen right now of making sure you have proper form, and if the game doesn't think you have proper form, it will tell you, hey, look, your form's not proper, you're doing the reps too slow, and it'll stop you. And I think that's really cool if it keeps you safe and you don't just accidentally pull a muscle or do something silly because you don't have that personal trainer you might have at a gym.
Absolutely. So one thing too is with having the weight of that headset on you too is it's really crucial to keep your neck in the proper position. So just leaning your head one way or to the other, or focusing down too much, because a lot of times when you start lifting, you'll put your chin to your chest, and our game will yell at you and say, nope, stop that, because we don't want you to strain something. So yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah, they also have really nice, I'm sure these guys don't need it, but the really nice demo videos for someone like me who really hadn't probably gone to a gym since high school when I was forced to for gym class. It's nice to be like, okay, what is an actual, like, what is a proper squat, or what is a proper, lat pull down supposed to look like? And it's nice to be able to say, okay, that's you guys have the videos there that these guys don't use, but for a new guy like me, it was actually really helpful. Okay, this is what proper form looks like. I like that as well.
It is helpful. I had actually never done a weighted squat before. With all of the sports and stuff I did growing up, squats just alone were more than enough. Why make them harder? So what we ended up doing with this was, like, I had to use those muscles in a whole other way. So yeah, it is helpful, and it's a good reference point too. We wanted to bridge that gap between people. So if you had never been in a gym before, you could come in and not feel lost. And if you've never played a game before, it's actually not too overwhelming as well. So it's an interesting fence to be on both sides of it.
Do you see that? I think Shane has actually caught up. I did see him at 6,000 points. Unfortunately for him, Preston has the crystal there, which would be his 5th one. He's actually going to take it down there. He had a nice little double damage mode that he was able to just with the supercharged deadlift just kind of rip down about 40% of that crystal, and now he's back in the lead, safe and sound here with only 6 minutes left.
Yeah, Preston is definitely set right now. Again, looks like he's going for another tower. Loaded that up. He's checking out his field, checking things out, making sure everything's where it needs to be.
Sees the enemy title in the left lane.
Yeah, you know, that's something that makes me super nervous. Is as soon as I start working on one of these towers, and the next thing I know, the AI is throwing their tanks at me, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, you're like, nope, please stop. Just can you hold on a second? Just a little bit. I mean, I do like how there is the weaknesses, though. So title is, as the water, you could do, you know, the rows or the lap pull downs if you really want to, and you have that super effective damage. So you're just going to do that right there. He's going to put the lap pull down so he can kind of just mow through that title real quickly.
Yep, and for me, like, my row is actually weaker than my lat pull down, so there's always that thing to juggle too. So if I really need to take a bigger one down, I'm going to choose what my strongest exercise is, because I can even up the weight if necessary.
Just under 5 minutes left in our first matchup here. Preston has 5 crystals. Shane has 4. Neither of them have a gate down, so Shane's going to have to pull out a small miracle here if he wants to catch back up and maybe force some sort of tiebreaker, because right now points aren't the important part. It is crystals destroyed, which do give you the most points, and it's 5 crystals for Preston and 4 for Shane.
And with Shane's right gate there, that's getting, once he gets under 50%, that's when I start getting pretty nervous.
Yeah, because if Kamiko's able to take down one of their crystals, it would reset everything, so you lose any progress you get on your gate. So that's the last thing you want, and with them usually focusing on one lane, there's usually going to be one gate that is just a little bit lower, and there's a title that we've talked about, one of the tanks coming down for Shane on the right side, so he'll do the lap pull down as well and try and bust through that tank.
Looks like Shane was taking a breather there for a minute, collecting his thoughts.
Probably, I mean, he's pretty close, actually. I mean, like I said, he's just got to take one crystal down. Unfortunately for him, Preston is sitting nice and pretty here. He's got that right gate at 58%, so he might even maybe burn down another crystal. I mean, there you go. You can hear the maintain proper form. That I think it really is helpful for new people to make sure they don't do something worse trying to work out. But yeah, I think Shane's going to be in a little world of hurt as we see these towers coming out from Preston. He might have his eyes on another crystal just to really secure this victory.
It really was. It looks like he's going for it right now. A little hard to see around the tower.
He's got those 3 he's got those 4 range minions or champions you were talking about, all set up nicely behind that tower.
Yep, that is, I would say, one of the in-house strategies right there. It's a good one.
How many of these is he going to deploy? 5?
If you've got the elixir, it's best to spend it, because again, it will reset back to that 1800 at the end of the round. So I mean, saving it unless you're just going to push a whole bunch out, it's just not worth it.
Looks like he's setting another tower up here. I mean, he's just letting the range minions do all the work for him. They're just taking down a ton of that crystal, and he's just kind of, you know, setting up a nice little tower there for some defense.
Exactly, and this is a really good strategy.
I think if he gets this crystal, he'll probably be pretty well set. Yeah, he's going to actually take it down before he can build his tower, and now he's at 6. Shane just at 4 with 2 minutes left. And I think Preston's pretty much wrapped this one up for the most part.
I believe so.
Exercise attacks are twice as powerful.
And he has double damage mode. I'd love to see him just absolutely destroy another crystal, but with just 2 minutes left, that might be a little too much of him to ask of him.
That would be a tricky feat, to go through a gate and then all the way through a crystal.
Got the double damage mode. And every time I hear those, I'm like, all right, I'm picking my strongest rep, and I'm just going to go to town.
Exactly. Oh, he's going to use a grenade?
He's looking for it, I think.
Yeah, what is he going for? Ah, right over there, the torture.
I think we saw he used his Firehawk earlier, so he won't have that, unfortunately. But
the red team's gate goes down.
Looks like maybe Shane has lost a gate. Oh, no, looks like Shane took down a gate. So maybe he can take down a crystal here in the final minute.
Yeah, and he's got his Sunbird over there just wearing down that crystal. Again, aerial attacks, not something to discount at all.
Aerial attacks, range attacks seem incredibly powerful. He's got a minute left for 60%. He's down 2 crystals, though, so I don't know if he'll be able to pull it off, but it's always nice to get that feel-good crystal at the very, very end of a round.
Yeah, there's nothing more satisfying than that just last few seconds and then you get your crystal. It's amazing what your body comes up with when it feels that. It's like, oh, I do have a little bit more to go.
Yeah, you know, you hear the double damage mode with a few minutes left, or you hear that hysterical, and you're like, all right, we can do this. You know, we're done with our workout in 20 seconds, body. We can power through. Unfortunately, I don't think Shane will find that crystal. He's got too many.
He's got too much in his way right now.
Yeah, he's got too many enemy champions. So, does look like it'll be a 6 crystal to 4 crystal victory for Preston. As we mentioned, the score would matter normally if you were just trying to rank up. For this one, it is just overall crystals destroyed. So Preston will take the victory there, but still a really impressive performance for both of them. And I mean, Preston is giving me the strat clearly, which is just summon a tower once I get them, and then just put as many ranged champions behind it, and you can just let them do all the work.
Exactly, and one thing too is just keep your ranged attacks separated enough so that an area of effect doesn't ever get all of them at once. I did the bad thing one time of getting my Scotties a little too close together one time.
Well, if you want to be able to, go on a hike, you need some more fuel, maybe for your next Black Box VR workout. Bang Energy is supporting the Black Box VR Winter Invitational. If you want that sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, and that's something you're going to need if you're going to Black Box VR. Not only are you going to have to be able to rip out the reps, you're going to have to say, all right, how do I counter a fire champion again? What am I looking for? What exercise? If you want any of that, Bang Energy Drink is the drink for you. It's potent brain and body fuel. And they're helping to sponsor the Black Box VR Winter Invitational that we just saw. We've got 3 more matches left here, and that first match was pretty impressive. I'll be curious to see if anyone can match just 6 crystals overall. I know no one's going against Preston. He's already won, but 6 crystals against a diamond-level boss feels like a ton of work for him. So I'll be curious if anyone else can even get 6 crystals destroyed in our remaining matchups.
Yeah, that's a huge feat, just to have a diamond-level boss and get that many crystals. That many crystals in general, I don't think I've ever got anything more than 4. So it's definitely an impressive feat.
You can see Shane and Preston there on the second matchup on the left side there. So Preston has advanced. We're not doing all of them today. If we do get word of maybe another matchup that has gone final, we can provide you the score. But we're going to go now to the bottom side of the left bracket. We'll have Josh and Ryan in our next matchup coming up. And I'll be really curious to see, like I said, if anyone can get 6 and how these guys do, because this is a diamond level boss that is the highest level in Black Box VR. So these are going to be guys who have been going for a while, who are the guys that, you see when you leave the gym, like, I want to be like that guy, and now that guy's playing video games as well. So that's even more cool to me. Usually I see, I'm like, okay, that guy probably went to the gym like 5 times this week. Like, I don't want to go to the gym. Now I see him and I'm like, wait, this guy's playing a video game just like me? That's pretty cool. And you know what? Let's hear from Preston. Let's have our post-game interview with our first winner of the night.
Ready? Yep. All right, I'm here with Preston. He just finished his arena battle. Boy, that really sounded like a tough one. I could hear you outside the booth over here. How do you think you did? What was the how do you think you did overall? It was pretty interesting to listen to.
Yeah, it was great. Final score was 9,500 to 500, so 9,000 point differential. But man, the opponent surprised me a few times. Like, I thought I was in the clear, putting a few buildings out there and doing a few spark crows and whatnot, but a few times I had bad timing and waited around a little bit. But overall, feel pretty gassed. Great workout and happy with the score. So,
well, good deal. Fun. Good deal. Well, I think Earl's got definitely some work to do after that performance like that. I can definitely see you working in there.
Hold up, it works.
All right, thanks, Preston.
Thank you.
Any words for anyone else that's going to be competing in this tournament here this week?
Oh man, just push it. Yeah, I mean, when you're hitting that wall, push past it. dig deep, and can't wait to come back in for hopefully the next round.
All right, thanks, Preston.
Thank you guys.
Preston has advanced. I mean, I think you mentioned it before we saw that. He's one of the top seeds, and he's one of the top seeds for a reason.
It's true. It is true. And that definitely does sound like a Preston right after a workout. He does push very hard every time, even when something like this isn't on the table.
I know you guys have talked about, putting something that's like on Twitch where it's just one person doing their workout, and I'm like, how would you even talk during that? I mean, you heard how out of breath Preston was. I'm like, how would you interact with anyone and talk with anyone? Because I'm out of breath like within a minute. I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna talk to anyone. I don't know how you could possibly stream this game on Twitch and talk to a chat as we see a little bit of our next matchup here with Ryan and Josh. I'm impressed he even got 2 questions out, because I would have just been totally gassed after the amount of work he did.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. I come out of there going, hold on a second. So, yeah, good on him.
I go with a buddy sometimes, like, how you do? I'm like, hold on, just, wait like 5 minutes. I'll tell you on the walk to the parking garage how I did, because I'm not going to be able to fill you in right there. So we have our next matchup queued up and ready to go with Josh and Ryan. Do you know anything about these competitors? Anyone who might be a favorite?
Well, I'm not going to pick favorites. Both of these guys work really, really hard. I enjoy seeing Josh come in all the time. Super fun guy. You can tell by his shirt. He's pretty cool. But I'm also pretty fond of my boss as well. So
that's fair. That is very, very fair. That you don't want to pick against the boss, because that bad things could happen. So yeah, we'll have Josh and Ryan in our second matchup. As we talked about, it's total crystals destroyed. If there's a tiebreaker for any reason, we go to point differential, which Preston kind of mentioned in his interview. And if that's still tied, we'll then go to the fitness portion of it, which is the total volume, because each of those workouts, it's kind of hard to see. There is some resistance. They're not just going against air, and that's the volume pounds of what resistance you're doing. So there is some sort of, gym aspect to it. They're not just going against, air, just doing reps for no reason.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a lot more than your typical Beat Saber and just movement. I average about 28,000 to 31,000 pounds of volume.
Well, before we get to this matchup, let's toss it over to Josh for his pregame interview, for how he's feeling before his matchup against Ryan.
Coming in, doing the same thing consistently, that's tough.
Definitely, I would agree with that. And what do you like about Black Box?
So the biggest thing I like about Black Box is that I don't have to think at all. So I can completely shut down. I come in, it's a black box. I don't have to go anywhere. The exercises they remember how hard I need to go, how much weight I need to lift. I honestly don't know what I'm lifting on most of the stuff that I'm doing. I just know that it feels right. And I compare that to going into a traditional gym, and you've got to sort of set yourself up a circuit and move around, and then there's somebody in your way, or you got to wait for a machine to go. Yeah. Just coming in, 30 minutes, all I do is lift, keeps the heart rate up, no distractions. My brain shuts off about 5 or 10 minutes into it. I love that. And then I think the other thing for me is, if I love the stats. Mm-hmm. So when I have a bad day, then I go back afterwards and I look at it and I'm like, man, I felt terrible today. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh, well, that's because I lifted, another 10,000 pounds than I normally do. Yeah. I'm like, well, okay, maybe I felt bad, but I know that it wasn't just I didn't come in and give good effort.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks for sharing all that. And then moving into the battle today, what are your thoughts on the battle today?
Well, I've never done this for anybody except myself. So we're going to see, but I'm definitely looking forward to it, because I try not to get into the gamification side. Again, I just like to come in here and do the workout. But, it does make me push a little harder, and I'm pretty sure it's going to make me push harder today.
For sure, definitely. And what are your thoughts, or what are your feelings towards your opponent? I mean, you're going against Ryan.
Yeah. Well, I was really hoping that I was going to draw Ryan in round 1, because I don't think he's going to last long in the tournament, and so I wanted a chance to go up against him first. So we'll knock him out here.
Perfect. And so what do you think your future looks like as far as like doing Black Box from a fitness perspective? How does that look?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep coming in here consistently. I do usually 2 days a week, and then the weekend I'm usually doing something outside something outside of that structure, and that's the deal. That's good for me. Like, I don't come in here to this is for me, it's a maintenance thing. It's trying to keep my health up, And again, it makes me feel better. You know, my back pain that I used to have and all that kind of stuff has gone away. So that's the deal for me, is I'm just gonna keep working it at this level.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Josh. Appreciate the time and good luck today.
Yeah, thanks.
Back to you guys.
Well, you didn't want to pick favorites, Amber. I'll pick Josh because I love a little bit of trash talk. I mean, he was really confident. Like, Ryan, I wanted him. I'm going to knock him out first round. This is going to be easy.
Yeah, just get him right out of there. Yeah, it is great to hear them get competitive with each other for sure.
And I mean, and he kind of hinted at it, and it's something that I thought would be interesting when I was told, hey, we're going to have this tournament, is you usually go in and you're just competing against yourself, either for if you want to do more volume, if you just want to be able to beat the boss and be able to continue on. It is going to be a little bit different since they are working out against another person, at least for me, because we've seen it. You destroy a gate, you destroy a crystal, you just do one lane over and over. I like to do, hey, I want to destroy that gate, I want to destroy the other gate, then I'll destroy the crystal. I really like, making the boss suffer. So I'll be curious if any of these guys are thrown off their usual rhythm, since there may be a little more thought of, oh, I actually got to deploy all my champions on one side as opposed to just kind of alternating, as you talked about, kind of just matching what the boss does.
It does. It does change up the strategy quite a bit by how we ended up doing this tournament like this.
So they'll be taking on the same boss, so it's not going to be any different than what we saw with Shane and Preston. They'll be taking on Kamiko, the diamond level boss. As we mentioned, the win condition is the most crystals destroyed. If that is a tie, we'll then go to the higher score differential against the boss. And if by somehow we have a tie there, we will go to our final tiebreaker, which be total volume lifted down to the single digit, and if we have a tie on that, we'll just roll a 12-sided dice at that point. Because if they tie in total volume, I would just be like, both these guys deserve to advance, because that would be so hard to lift the exact same amount over a 30-minute workout as someone else.
That would be ridiculously hard to do, yes.
So we see our stats on Kamiko. She's got every champion at level 17, which is going to give them a ton of health, and then the attacks, on the low end, maybe the fire attack's a little weaker, so maybe you want to summon a lot of wind champions. If you're either Josh or Ryan, is fire super effective against wind super effective against water, of course, super effective against ice, and you see those extremely high wind levels there for her two attacks. So I would be curious to see if we maybe see a lot of the wind, maybe a Spark Crow or a Windja maybe coming out, because we saw a lot of Scotty, who is water, so she would be weak to wind, but we've also seen just how strong she can be, as well as one of the longer range champions that I've at least seen in the game so far.
Yeah, she is just a solid choice, even though she does have a slightly less health, just by the fact that she is a water element and also ranged. She's very, very useful.
Looks like Josh just went straight to defending his own base, while I thought I saw Ryan trying to summon a champion, but I don't know if it looks like he didn't get it off. He also had to realize that there was a title running at him, as well as the Aqua Fist. So they're both just right now defending their gates.
Absolutely. And it will start out with Josh with the overhead press, and then Ryan went right to the rope.
Interesting that Josh went for the overhead press. That's one of the AoE attacks, and used it mainly just to take down a champion. Would have thought he would have gone with just a chest press that does a little bit more damage to one single unit, but I guess he wanted to make sure none of those little minions hampered his progress down a lane eventually.
Yeah, he's definitely smashing it with that for sure right now.
There's also a little bit of health on his left side, but you also see Ryan. He still has that title to deal with as he's waiting for the exercise, the lap pull down to load up. So he's not out of the woods yet. Josh has finally started to clear some, and he actually hits the max rep. So he's now got to switch exercises and maybe summon a couple champions with all that energy elixir he's got.
Now would be a perfect time to get your champions out on the field.
And no champions out for the boss, but he's just going to go with the lap pull down and maybe try and put some early damage on one of the gates.
This is definitely another strategy that gets utilized a lot. Is in the first round, just do as many exercises as possible, get your elixir up as high as you can. I mean, it will reset, but you can just bombard the AI with a ton of champions.
See that Ryan is still trying to find a way to deal with that title. So he's still got to find a way to get that tank out of it. It's incredibly low health, so a couple of squats should do the trick. But he's still right now trying to find a way to get, Kamiko out of his own base at this point, really.
And if you're going to choose to use a similar element on another element, it won't be as effective unless it is one of your strong ones. So if legs are, his water element is his stronger choice, that could definitely get that tank whittled down to where he wants it to be.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to do the squat to take down the title. He'll get all of the energy elixir from that title, so maybe he'll be able to put down a ton of champions. He's still got to find, he's got supercharged. You can see he's like, really? Do I need another one? And he's also losing his right side gate just to some minions and just attacks from the boss as well. So right now Ryan's definitely struggling early on here, but now he's going to get his rock dude out and absorb a lot of that damage with his own tank.
Yeah, this will definitely give Ryan a leg up right now, getting rock dude on the field. He is just one of the best tanks, in my opinion.
Will take 500 points for destroying that gate.
And he actually just lost the gate. So if we get to a tiebreak here, those 500 points could be huge for boss differential.
Absolutely. I mean, to lose one so soon too, that's rough.
Well, we see Josh. He's got his range champion. It looked like he had I think a lightning tiger out, which is something I just unlocked, which it really intrigues me because they'll run all the way down to the gate without being able to be attacked. And I've definitely thought about, all right, can I just make like a super strong lightning tiger and just throw like 8 of them down at the gate? But I kind of like this. We're seeing a little bit of a different champion here from Josh than we saw in our first battle.
He is mixing it up. One of the mixes that I tend to go with, just because the lightning tiger costs a little bit less, you could do a rock dude and a couple of lightning tigers, and they'll just gnaw away at the AI's gate. Or crystal if you've got a gate out of the way.
Yeah, we do see that Josh has taken down that right side gate thanks to his lightning tiger. It does look like it was taken out by the boss, but very far ahead of Ryan right now, who now he finally has taken the gate out. So now we're actually a lot closer than it looked just a few moments ago. So we'll see if one of them can take down the crystal faster than the other one.
Yeah, and using the chest press as the direct attack right there on that crystal, that is a good way to go.
You see that Josh has it at 33%. He's supercharged right now. If he can get him to hysterical, he could probably take it down. But of course, he's just gonna let that fall because he's still got 23 minutes left. You can't. I learned that the hard way the other time I came in. First 15 minutes I was feeling it, and then the last 15 I was like, all right, let's just go really slow. So there's a bit of pacing to it as well, since unlike a gym where you're gonna have circuits and you can just take a break, there's not really an easy way to take a pause in this game. You've got 30 minutes. You got to pace yourself.
You really do. And it looks like right now he, deploying the lightning tiger to get it down there, and then just going right back to that the meteor strike.
He's using the AoE just to perfection. Nearly took down both of the champions. He's got another Winja though in his face, so he's going to have to let that one fall. Maybe pick another AoE attack.
Oh, and there his gate is down.
And he didn't load up an exercise, so he's not going to have the machine prepping itself while he's getting these lightning tigers out. He does have the enemy crystal at 21%, so he's probably going to maybe throw down a bunch of lightning tigers and just try and have them all sort of sneak down to the crystal. That looks like what he's trying to do here.
And this would give him a chance to catch that breath.
Yep.
Even though you are still moving, it's definitely going to give you a break before you go over there and switch on to that other exercise.
Yeah, you also buy yourself that 10-second rest time while everything resets. We also see that Ryan actually got the first crystal, so now he'll be able to see he can take a little bit of a break while everything resets. So now it's Josh that's finally waiting on his lightning tiger. So this is a pretty close battle so far, just 8 minutes in.
It really is.
That will really change things up. Let's see how these competitors.
And Ryan demonstrating proper hydration while during a workout is also really, really good.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've struggled with. I actually like that. I'm always like, okay, I could use some water, but how do I do it in the middle of it? And it was really smart of him. Get the crystal down, you get the 10 seconds and a little bit of change while the boss puts out their first creature to take that break, get some water. I like that strategy of him using that, maximizing that break instead of just kind of, hands on the hips. He really did a good job. I'll be curious to see if that works out because he's got a slight lead over Josh, just barely.
Just barely, indeed. Yeah, they're very close right now.
Also very similar situations. They're both dealing with a title kind of just smashing down their left side gate. Both going with wind attacks. Looks like it's the lat pull down for Ryan and the rose for Josh.
Oh, and there we got our supercharged.
Who was that? Who was that? Was that for Ryan?
I believe that was for Josh.
Ryan?
Oh, no, it was Ryan, because now he's got his hysterical.
Yeah, Ryan also got lucky that the boss not only summoned Tidal, also summoned another water champion right next to Tidal, so he was able to use the lat pull down the AoE to burn through the lower health one and get the Tidal decently low, and now it looks like he's going to summon out a couple of champions of himself while he loads up. I think he loaded up Rose to try and really finish off that Tidal.
Yeah, this boss is throwing out a lot of water, so it is going to force you to just do those rows and lap pull downs. Even more so than you probably want to, but it is going to pay off in the long run.
It's like Josh is really using this Lightning Tiger strategy. He's got another one out. He's trying to defend his own gate, but as we said, the Lightning Tigers will just kind of sneak past everything, so they'll start to maybe get down the enemy gate as both guys are tied up with just one crystal aside, and score differential right now also tied. Just 10 minutes gone so far in our second matchup of the night.
Without the enemy having any towers out there, Lightning Tigers are definitely just a surefire way to just get down there and just keep just nailing on their gates and their crystals. Really, really solid strategy. Of course, once the AI puts out a tower like that, it's gonna get in the way of the Lightning Tiger a bit, but then, you know, you can always go for the other lane if need be.
Looks like they're both going for towers here. I think Josh even hit the max reps on his. I don't know if Ryan did as well, so Josh's tower going to be a little bit stronger when he summons it. But she's holding on to it for now, it looks like.
Yep, he is deploying. Oh, who did he just throw out there? Oh, going for another Lightning Tiger.
Yeah, he's got the Archer in the back, the Scotty, and maybe I don't know who the big tank is. I don't have that one unlocked yet. But he's got some tank down on the right side. Meanwhile, Ryan's still just trying to defend his tower. Some of his own Archer is behind it.
Yep.
Have a little bit of backup.
Yep, and it protects your range too. So if your Scotties have that tower, it's really helpful.
Fortunately, it looks like the Spark Crows took it down, so that tower got him a little bit, but probably not as much as he wanted.
Ryan's currently using my least favorite exercise out of all of them. The overhead press is probably my weakest one to date. I'm still working on that, but when you can use it properly, it is super powerful.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think my overhead press finally left level 1 after my workout today. I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of those today. So the fact that he's able to get as many of those out, now he's got his Rock Dude. He mentioned one of the stronger tanks, so now he looks like he'll probably try and put as many things behind it as possible. Try and take down that enemy gate on the left side.
Yeah, and Rock Dude can just soak up so much damage. He's going to be super helpful for Ryan right now.
Right now he needs him to soak up the damage of the title. He also needs to find a way to take down that title so his Rock Dude and his other champions, his Scotty and Spear NATO, can take down the enemy gate, because right now they're throwing all that damage onto the tank for the AI right now.
Yeah, they are, and while they're distracted with that, unfortunately, that's just where all that energy is going to have to be poured until they can get them out of the way.
So he finally took it down, but it did cost him his Rock Dude.
Oh, with the double damage, though, this should be a lot easier for him to get those gates' health down.
The supercharge there, the double damage also affects the AI, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe so, yes.
Because that AI just melted through all of his champions. So unfortunately for Ryan, his champions haven't been as efficient. And actually, I feel bad for him because it's the same sort of slash punch combo. And when you miss one and you just keep going, as he did there, it feels really bad. You're like, oh, I missed a punch, and you're like, I did all that for nothing. It really is frustrating.
It is, and especially the faster you can get those deployed, then they also have that extra health, and so just that little bit of those milliseconds can really limit what your champion can do out there.
Wow, looks like for Josh, he just hit, I think, max squats, and he's actually taking down a gate while we've been watching Ryan. So he's got a slight advantage. The crystal for Josh on the right side is attackable, but it's still at 100%. I'll be curious to see if he tries another Lightning Tiger strategy. We saw that got him his first one. He's also lost his own gate, so he's got to be careful that he doesn't lose a crystal.
He really does right now.
I would have to think that losing a crystal would be just detrimental, because not only would you lose all the progress on the gate, the boss would get 1,000 points, and if point differential ends up being something these competitors have to worry about, that could be just brutal to have those 1,000 points right in your face.
Well, he just got his Shield Maiden out there on the field, so hopefully that will keep his exposed crystal safe for a little bit longer.
Here come all the Lightning Tigers again. I like this strategy. I really do. I'm glad that someone is at a diamond level has proven this strategy works. Because it's something where I'm like, why not? Just Lightning Tigers seem like a lot of fun. As you see, you can kind of tell it's going to run past everything until it gets to that crystal. So it's going to get quite a few attacks out before the boss is able to switch onto it.
Absolutely. And with the name of the game right now just being as many crystals as possible, Lightning Tigers are going to be your best friend.
Does look like both of them are pretty low on energy, or at least I guess Ryan's low. Looks like Josh still has enough to summon a few, and that's once you run out of energy elixir, that's you only can get it back by destroying enemy champions. So got to be careful with what he summons.
He really does right now. Once you get down, when it's too low to summon anything else, that's when the time you kind of feel. That's where I feel the pressure. I have to start scrambling, like, oh no, now I've got to load this and really pump it out.
One enemy at a time and does
Oh, he had a fire tower saved up though, so good job by him. He built the tower up, and then he had been saving it for that moment, so he can use the fire tower to, I think, take down the enemy Winja that was summoned, and he'll get some of that energy elixir back. Because yeah, the champions do a really good job of helping you clear the lane, absorbing some of that damage. When you don't have any energy elixir to summon them, you're just going to get your crystal or your gate just blasted repeatedly by the AI. And he's got an exposed crystal.
Yeah, it's true. It was really good to just hold on to that tower and deploy it when he's down there. Not enough elixir.
Not enough for another one of those Shield Maidens, so he can have some defense for that tower potentially. Nope, looks like the power just got taken down.
How's Ryan doing over there?
I think he just got a gate down. He's at 2,000 points, so I think he did just get a gate down.
For this exercise, you can do double damage against
But he's got the crystal at 68%, so he's actually in the lead here by about 20% on this second crystal, with these guys all tied up at one crystal aside.
Right now, with him deploying Spark Crows, I haven't personally had any experience with them, but again, I hear that they're totally worth the coins, or waiting until you unlock them, but they will drive the opponent crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can see as the aerial unit, there's nothing that the enemy Winja can even do. And right now, Ryan's gate's looking decently healthy, both of the 40%, so could be something that he has the advantage on. As we talked about, point differential would be the first tiebreaker, and these guys are very, very close right now.
They are.
It looks like Ryan, unfortunately, is running into the same issue that we just saw Josh in probably a couple minutes ago, where he's got 3 champions breathing down his neck. He's got to try and... Looks like he's going to use the Firehawk here. He's just going to clear everything out. Good use right there, actually.
It really was, and now he can just replenish that elixir and get a bunch of his own guys out on the field.
Yeah, he gets the elixir back. He saves his gate, so he's not going to lose those 500 points. So he's still in the lead in the point differential with 1,500 over the boss, and we're just over halfway through. It's 30-minute workout session, so final 12 minutes here. I'd be curious to see if we can get anyone to get maybe 3 crystals, because they're both working on their second.
Yeah, and with Ryan's gates, both of them, those dangerously low. That is for sure. So him getting this space right now to get his Scotties out there, get the range attack going, this will be really helpful.
You can make excuses, or you can take
But he's
action.
got, looks like, 3 Scotties. Unfortunately, they all just got one shot by Kamiko. So all of that energy elixir, all of that punch and slicing, instead of just doing direct damage, unfortunately just got wasted there.
And that is the downside of not putting them behind a tank. Without a tank or a tower for a Scotty to hide behind, they just don't have a high enough health to just hang out by themselves.
And there goes the blue team's gate.
Oh, and there goes his gate.
500 points.
He's sitting on the Oh, that was actually, I think, a really smart play. He waited until the boss had to change exercises to deploy his Spear NATO so that it couldn't be attacked right away and get one shot. That was actually a really smart play by Ryan to wait out the, 3 extra hits and lose a gate, but be able to get full damage on the crystal from his own champion.
Absolutely.
Well, he's at 38%. We'll see if we can see what Josh is at. He was about the same in terms of percent. Both of them working on their second crystal, and they both now lost a gate. So as far as we know, the score should be all knotted up.
Oh, and he's going to go with the good old Lightning Tiger now that that crystal's exposed.
Well, looks like Josh, while we were away, looks like he got another crystal. So he's actually up 2-1 now with 10 minutes left. So a pretty good job by him powering through. I wonder if it was with the Lightning Tigers or whatnot, but he's got a ton of enemy champions that are going to start slowly heading his way here that he's going to have to deal with now that the game reset and he has his gates back.
All right, it looks like Ryan went ahead and used a freeze power up on the AI. That should buy him enough time to wear their health down before they get close to his gate that's holding at 34%.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he has what looks is that a torture and a title on the right side, just hitting his exposed crystal. So he's got to be careful for those. But he probably just wants to be able to. He's only got 24% left. Gonna probably summon a couple of scatties and just throw them all on the left side. Hopefully they can take down the enemy crystal before his is in too much trouble.
That is playing it really close. That is never good to see a tank next to your crystal, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised he froze the left side. I think maybe he freeze the right side, but yeah, he just wants to try and freeze those. Unfortunately, he's going to lose his champion he just summoned, and right now he's in a world of hurt. He's got, I think, 1,200, maybe 1,500 energy elixirs. We can summon several champions on the left side, but right now he's got to deal with all of that red. It looks like he finally got it. Oof.
Yep, he just lost a crystal.
So now we're all tied up at 2 aside. They've each been averaging about a crystal every 10 minutes, so maybe they can get both 3 crystals here and force us to a tiebreaker. I'll be curious to see, and Ryan's definitely right now the one who's behind, as Josh has started to work on a tower here and has cleared things up on both the lanes.
No, this is a really close game. It's actually really cool to see this.
Josh might be eating his words, saying he was like, I wanted to draw Ryan in the first round. I knew it would be an easy win, because right now him and Ryan are neck and neck, and I'd say Josh is maybe 30, 40 seconds ahead in getting a crystal down. So this could come down all the way to the wire.
It really could.
Both dealing with some titles right in their face.
Yeah, Kamiko really loves her water element, that is for sure.
Yeah, we've seen a ton of titles. I don't know if these guys have faced her before, or if Ryan just maybe had some inside intel, because I know Ryan at least has 3 lightning champions who are all effective against water, so he was at least somewhat prepared for this battle. Or maybe he just lucked into it, I don't know, but he has I think 3 different lightning champions he could summon to deal with these titles. He's gonna go with the rock shoot to start.
And that is the benefit of having gone through certain bosses. You definitely know how to lay out your deck a lot more.
And the other thing that could come down to it is if Josh loses his gate or Ryan loses his right side gate, because those 500 points could come back to cost them if we go to a point differential. So there's not only destroying the enemy crystal, but making sure you keep your gates alive here in our final 7 minutes.
With the scores this tight, everything is going to matter. And they're going to really have to keep their gates safe and just hammer down on this AI right now.
See, can't quite tell if that's a torture or what's on the other side of his shield maiden. Looks like it finally did get taken down by the tower, so he's going to wait for that energy elixir to build up here and maybe look at some spark crows, maybe a lightning tiger or 2.
Yeah, well, if I was him, I would stick with his lightning tiger routine. That really seems to be doing him a lot of good.
I think we heard off screen that Ryan has hit a hysterical with something. I don't know if it was in defense or attacking, because if it was attacking, he would be in pretty good shape, and Josh has got the double damage mode, so he might be able to pump out some serious damage here as well with some squats that he's going to queue up. This is a really, really close game. I'm excited we got something that has been this close so far.
Absolutely. Like, they're just neck and neck right now.
Yeah, it looks like Josh is just letting his tower, his Lightning Tigers, do everything he needs on the right side. Can't quite see what the enemy gate's at.
Their crystal is no longer protected. Destroy it.
Oh, but it's actually Ryan that's taking down the gate to start. So Ryan's now in the small lead and going to have an exposed crystal. So if he can get this done in the next 5 minutes, I'd favor Ryan here because Josh has still got to go. He actually just got a gate down as well. So they're really just neck and neck. Even the crystals are 84 and 84%. Could come down to our final seconds potentially.
It looks like it really could, because even their own gates are very, very similar as well. But Ryan's got a few things to have to work through there to keep working on that crystal.
See that Josh's right gate's at 50%. Ryan's is at 32, so he's got to make sure he doesn't lose a gate in this final 4 minutes. So he might even want to focus on just taking care of all the gates, because now he's got a rock dude walking over towards his fire tower. He's got a title just beating down his gate. Ryan's definitely going to need to go pretty crazy here with the squat to be able to hold on to his gate on the right side.
He absolutely will. If he didn't put that on heavy, then that could be leaving him at a disadvantage for sure.
Well, maybe he's just going to, as I say, maybe he's going to go for the hysterical and just try and nuke down the enemy crystal at 28%. He might have a good shot.
It looks like right now Josh is just wailing on the enemy's crystal.
Oh, Ryan couldn't quite get there. He's only at 8%. Josh gets it. So Josh is now up by a crystal, but Ryan's pretty dang close to be able to take this one down.
Yep, there they are, neck and neck again.
4 minutes. I don't think we'll see a crystal, but this could come down to if someone loses a gate or destroys a gate, and it looks like we've got the Tesla tower out for Josh right away. He's done a really good job of building those towers and then saving them for when he needs them the most.
It is a really good strategy to just hold on to those.
Sent at least one Lightning Tiger that just got evaporated down, so unfortunately didn't get any damage. Here's the range strategy from Ryan. He's going with the put everything behind a tower and just have them chuck range projectiles at the game.
As long as they have a tower or a tank in front of them, they'll last a lot longer.
And it looks like he just used, I think Ryan used a Berserk as well. So he's really trying to burn through that gate here. Maybe thinks that those extra points might be the difference maker.
It really could. Those Berserks are really helpful with your own champions.
Does look like, no, Josh has used both his power-ups. He hasn't used the Firebird yet, or the Firehawk. So I guess if his gates get too close, he could always Firehawk and try and clear the field.
He really could, and that would give him a lot of breathing room too if they get too close to him.
Maybe he'll build up this tower here and then drop down a Firehawk, set down the tower. So both these guys are tied at 3 crystals. Our first tiebreaker would be point differential, which they're also tied in as well. So if we get to that being tied, we'll have total volume. So every last rep here, even if it's not doing damage to the gate, could be the difference.
And that just shows you too just how much this really is a workout. I mean, we can talk numbers and strategies all day long, but at the same time, these guys are pumping out hundreds of pounds per exercise. And when that all totals up at the end, it's insane to see what some people end up doing.
I think in the pre-game interview, Josh said he usually averages like 28,000 to 31,000. So, I mean, that it doesn't feel like it at the time, but you said you look at the stats afterwards, you're like, wait, I did how much? It's pretty crazy.
It is true, and it always astounds me too. People sometimes like, I'm not sure if I did very good, and then they come out and they're like, oh wow, I did so much more than I was expecting, and it just feels good.
Yeah, that's the thing I've heard from people when I tell them about. Like, well, you're not lifting real weights. It's just a resistance set. And I'm like, here, let me show you how much I lifted. Do you ever go to the gym and lift this much? No? You just do like 50 pounds? So, you know, I like to brag on him a little bit. We're really, really close in our final minute. Looks like Josh has his right gate for Kamiko at 60%.
Yeah, putting another lightning tiger to just keep gnawing on that, so that'll be super helpful.
Oh, Ryan got a gate. So he's got a lead.
He does. And there's not much time left on the clock right now.
No, there's no way Ryan gets a crystal.
Nah.
He's probably just got to make sure he doesn't lose a gate at this point. Josh has got to find 17% damage here in 30 seconds. It looks like he's going to rely on one champion, and he's going to go with the chest press here and try and bang this one out with 20 seconds left.
Yeah, chest press is a good one if you just really want to just nail this as quickly as possible. It's just a really strong direct attack.
And he's going to get it. 10 seconds left, and he's going to take the gate down. They'll both kind of just realize, all right, there's nothing they can do. So we're going to have our first tiebreaker. Not only is it just one, because, I mean, point differential is tied at 4,000 aside. We're going to have to go to our double tiebreaker, which is total volume lifted between Ryan and Josh to find our winner.
Which is absolutely insane for them to tie that on two things like that. That is very unheard of.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. I would have to assume there's no way you tie volume. I mean, that would just be they would be just almost clones of each other if they did the exact same amount of volume.
Exactly.
So we'll wait to hear what the results are. So as we said, Josh and Ryan, they both got 3 crystals. They both got a gate, with Josh getting with just 10 seconds left. And Josh is going to be victorious. Looks like it was 48,000 volume for Josh to 37,000 for Ryan. So blew him out of the water. Nearly 50,000 pounds of volume for Josh. And didn't think we'd have to see a double tiebreaker tonight, but we've seen it in our second match. And these guys are really, really close. So Josh, for all that confidence, might have to eat a little bit of his words, saying that he was just going to smash Ryan like he thought in the pregame interview.
Well, and it's a good thing that he dug deep as much as he did, because that is an incredible amount of volume. Definitely.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, I don't even get close to that. I don't want to out myself, but I don't get close to 48,000. That's nowhere close to that. So yeah, huge congratulations to Josh. He advances in a double tiebreaker over Ryan. So now we are halfway through tonight in our Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational. We're in the round of 16. Well, then, we're starting to work our way towards the round of 8. We've already seen a couple guys qualify. So let's actually go over to the post-game interview from our matchup between Josh and Ryan.
All right, I'm here with Ryan, post-arena battle interview. How do you feel your performance was today, Ryan?
Pretty good. I killed myself. That was pretty close to passing out, but I was pushing as hard as I could. I'm pretty sure I got a new volume record today, so nice. I'm pretty excited about that.
Very cool, very cool. Is there anything that you would have done differently today?
I decided not to put rock in my deck, but trying to see if I can get a little bit more strategic with elemental stuff, but I think that would have been helpful today because never had enough elixir to do as much as I wanted.
Right, awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about the boss.
Kamiko is tough. I mean, it's Diamond League. I mean, this is not joking around. It's relentless. She just constantly hit you the whole time, releasing things. There's no rest periods, so as soon as you want to take a break, too bad, she's coming right at you again. So that makes it fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Ryan. Good luck to Josh, right?
No.
I mean, he even said it. He thought he had a personal volume record, and unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. But still, I mean, that's just incredible how close that was. And even for Ryan, I'm sure he'll still be pretty happy that he had his own personal best, because that's the other thing when you go to the gym. You want to set PBs. So even though it wasn't as much as Josh in total volume, he still had a nice little PB there, and it was a very close battle between the two of them.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, too. You can always beat your own records, too, in the rare occurrence that you end up tying someone else on almost everything that you were competing on. So
we are going to, and we were talking about, they were talking about breaks in their interview. We're going to take a break. We're going to have Jake and Isaac coming up after that. We are halfway through here on our matchups tonight. We have 4 total. We've got 2 down. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the next matchup in the 2020 Black Box VR Winter Invitational between Jake and Isaac. That's all coming up after this short break.
Sounds great.
Welcome to Black Box VR, the world's first virtual reality gym, combining the addictive qualities of immersive video games with the life-changing power of serious exercise. This is your chance to build muscle, burn fat, increase your cardiovascular endurance, and completely level up your life. Now it's your turn. The first step to your new life is to download the free Black Box VR companion app. This app is where you will create your account, choose your game username, set your goals, and enter important details that are needed to personalize your experience in the arena. From there, you can easily schedule your first introductory workout battle and book your time in one of our private VR booths. When it's time for your first onboarding session, you'll check in on the app to receive your assigned booth number. On your first visit, our friendly hero trainers will give you a tour of your gym and show you the waiting area, the power-up wall, where you can get a free serving of one of our selected pre-battle supplement, the warm-up cool-down zone, free lockers, and private bathrooms with showers. If you don't have your own arm garments, you can grab some free ones from the front lobby. Be sure to get the right size and get one right-hand garment and one left-hand garment. When it's time for your first battle, the hero trainer will guide you to the booth that you were assigned to in the app. This private area is where you will interact with the virtual world and the Black Box VR dynamic resistance machine. Our smart device will automatically adjust the handles for your height and for the direct damage exercise you've chosen to do. The bench pad will stabilize you during special exercises that require it. Be sure to keep your hands away from the machine while it's configuring. Don't worry, you'll be able to see it when you're in virtual reality. If you ever have a problem, you can hit the emergency stop button. Just don't hit it by accident. The booth has lockers for your belongings as well as a place to hang your workout towel. Make sure you remove your watch or any bracelets so there is room to wear the arm garments. The hero trainer will help you put on your arm garments and make sure they are comfortable. The trackers will be charged and ready to clip on. We use these trackers and arm garments so we can track your hands in VR without using traditional controllers. It doesn't have to be perfect, but try to keep the arm trackers in this position for optimal tracking. The headset will have been cleaned, dried, and completely sanitized before your battle. The CleanBox technology uses medical-grade UVC light to help keep you safe and clean, and our VR covers are swapped out as needed. Now it's time to transport you to the practice arena. Put on the headset and tighten it so that it's comfortable. You can adjust the top strap as well, if needed. If things look blurry, you can adjust the IPD like this anytime during your battle. This sets the lenses to the actual positions of your eyes. When you start, you'll still be in the booth. Turn around and make sure you see your name on the menu. If it's you, hit I agree and follow the quick prompts. Set your height so we can adjust the machine for you. Say goodbye to Earth for now. It's time to transport you to the Black Box VR world. By the way, I'm Maya, our AI trainer, and I'll be there to meet you inside the arena locker room. I'll be your guide and help you learn how to use the battle equipment. Don't worry, you'll pick it up quickly. You can see the battle arena from your locker room view. Let's warp down to the field now. So how do you compete and win in the arena? Black Box VR is a sport unlike any other. Your goal will be to use all of your strength, endurance, grit, and intelligence to outplay, outperform, and outsmart your AI competitor. This is the arena battlefield. You will be on a platform on one end, and your competitor will be on the other side. Your crystal will be right in front of you, protected at all costs. Your competition will be trying to destroy it. They also have a crystal in front of their platform. Destroying their crystal earns you 1,000 points. The battlefield is split into 2 lanes. Champions on the field cannot cross from one side to the other. The crystal is protected by gates in each lane. To destroy their crystal, you must first break through one of these protective gates. If you can get it from 100% health down to 0, it will explode, and that will get you 500 points. Then you are free to attack the crystal from that side. So that's 500 points for every gate you destroy, and 1,000 points for every crystal. The team with the most points when the time runs out will be the winner. After one of the crystals are destroyed, the round is over. The field will be reset, and the next round will begin. So, what tools do you have to make your way to victory? The most powerful weapons in the game are your direct damage exercises. This is where you will use your actual strength and determination to unleash the power of air, water, and fire out onto the field. The stronger you are in real life, the more damage each of your reps will do. Your first time in the arena, I will show you how to do your first few direct damage exercises like standing row, which is a powerful lightning air attack, and squats, which shoots ice shards at any enemy that dares to go against you. For standing row, simply choose the lightning orb, put it in the hopper that's connected to the dynamic resistance machine, and wait for it to configure. Once it's done, you will be notified in your heads-up display. Now activate your direct damage weapon by hitting the Activate button. If you don't hit Activate, you won't be able to see the handles. Since you are facing the machine, once you hit Activate, the platform will rotate so that you can see the battlefield. Stand on the blue feet that you see on the ground. Reach over and grab the red handle with your red hand. Then reach over and grab the blue handle with your blue hand. Put your chest up against the pad for stabilization. You will be in position to begin. Slowly perform standing row reps by pulling with your arms and back muscles to move the handles through the orbs. Continue doing reps like this to fire your lightning attack. Make sure you use controlled motion. If you do not go far enough back, it won't fire. Do full reps. Be sure to move both arms at the same time. You can control which lane your lightning bolt will fire into by glancing either left or right to make your selection. Once you have selected a lane, you can keep your head straight and it will continue firing in that lane. Do not twist your neck and continue to do reps. You could injure yourself. Quickly move your head towards the lane you want to select. Then move it back to center. You can change lanes as many times as you want during the set. Your attack will automatically target the closest enemies in your chosen lane. Once that unit has been destroyed, it will target the next closest one. If there are no enemy units in that lane, you will begin attacking the gate. Once the gate has been destroyed, it will begin targeting the crystal. Take the crystal down to 0% health, and you will win that round. When you begin a direct damage exercise set, you will be doing 1x damage out onto the battlefield. After you grind through enough reps, you will unlock supercharged mode, which delivers 2x damage for every additional rep. Keep going, and you can achieve hysterical mode, which is a whopping 4x damage. Even the toughest foes will be taken out quickly with that much power. Yes, you have a higher likelihood of winning if you can dig down deep and do a few more reps than your competitor. These are also the reps that will make your real-life body stronger and more fit. Each set has a maximum of 25 reps allowed. Your virtual weapon will need to cool down after all that firing. Once you feel tired, simply release the handles, and the machine will automatically retract. Before you know it, your body will begin to transform, and you'll have more real-life strength, power, fitness, and aesthetics than you ever thought possible. Direct damage attacks are just one way to challenge your competitor and take down their crystal. Champions are your team of powerful units that go out on the battlefield to fight for you. Once you strategically deploy them, they will attack the enemy units, gates, and crystal all by themselves. Your job is to protect them with cover fire from your direct damage exercise attacks. To deploy a champion, simply grab their orb from the other table. It costs energy elixir to build them. You can see how much elixir you have in your heads-up display. The unit cost is right under their orb. You won't be able to pick up the orb if you do not have enough elixir. Put the orb in the hopper in front of you on the platform. To build your champion, you will need your endurance, motor skills, and speed. Each unit has their own unique slam pattern, which you will soon memorize. Slice through the cylinders with the correct color hand. Slice them long ways. Be sure to use the right color hand or it will not slice in half. Punch the circles with the correct color hand and be sure to use enough force. Finish the full pattern as quickly as you can. Once you have completed all slices and punches, it's time to deploy your champion out onto the field. Look at your right hand. See the deploy button? Point your right hand to the exact spot on the field that you want them to go. You can choose anywhere in the highlighted areas. The deploy button will not work if you are not aiming into these areas. Hit the deploy button with your left hand and your champion will warp to your chosen spot. Your champion will automatically fight the enemy that is closest to them. Placing champions in the right spot at the right time can be the difference between winning and losing. After 30 minutes, the battle is over. The team with the highest score wins the trophies. The losing team loses trophies. Accumulating trophies is what will help you to move up to bigger and better arenas and leagues, with more rewards, exciting unlocks, and much more. Once you are done, simply remove the headset by twisting the knob on the back of your head and pulling it off. Don't forget to grab your personal belongings. Open up the Black Box VR app to check your battle stats, receive your rewards, and schedule your next workout battle. On your way out, get your free serving of post-workout protein to help you recover and maximize your results. Your body needs these building blocks to transform. You'll love the flavor. Becoming a Black Box VR member is easy. A Hero Access Pass gives you full access to the Black Box VR experience. Private workout battle scheduling, automatic tracking of your stats delivered to your companion app, AI automatically progresses you, ability to unlock all arenas, ability to unlock all champions with special skills and attributes like flying, squads, archers, and more. The key to success is consistency, and with our fun and exciting game experience, you'll never want to miss a session. To become a member, simply open the Black Box VR app and choose to schedule your next battle. Choose your membership option and fill out the quick form. You don't ever have to talk to a pushy salesperson or spend hours filling out paper forms. You can always cancel your membership right in the app. For millions of people around the world, achieving their health and fitness goals has been elusive. Always starting a new program with high hopes that, this time, they will get the body and life that they've always dreamed of. Video games are the exact opposite. We play and play even when we know we should be doing something else. The addictive qualities of games create that itch that makes us want to log back in again and again. For the first time in history, it's possible to combine the addictive, fun, immersive qualities of games with the physical and emotional benefits of intense exercise. Become a Black Box VR member today and see why people are saying they will never go back to a traditional gym. Level up your body and your life in the Black Box VR arena. We'll see you there.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Continuing on with our 2020 Black Box VR Winter Invitational Tournament. Going to have Jake and Isaac going at it next. Just saw a little bit of the tutorial there. And let me just tell you from experience, as someone who heard about it from Boise State, where we've advertised for them for a couple of months now, this place is a ton of fun. I mean, I know that the intro video is a little cheesy. They all are, no matter what you sign up for. It's actually a ton of fun. Amber, you said you're the location manager for the one in Boise, correct?
I am. I started there about a year ago, and I absolutely loved it. It's actually a company that I politely harassed for a while after seeing them at a VR event, and I was like, whoa, I have to be part of this. So it's super cool to see it. It's super cool to see how it's grown, what we've added, and even everything that 2020 has thrown at us, we have actually been able to expand and grow our membership and our location. So it's super cool to see where Black Box is going.
Yeah, if you're interested and you're in the Boise area, it's in the Zions Bank building downtown. It's tucked in there. I was like, wait, how would it even be in the Zions Bank building? But it's tucked in there. I highly recommend, if you're going to make your New Year's resolution to lose weight and you want to not just quit the gym within a month, go check them out. Amber was the one who helped me and Baratel. We decided to do it together right before Thanksgiving. She got us all set up. She's awesome. I was like, wow, this person's super helpful. I'm glad she's going to join us to cast for this. And it's a ton of fun. Just trust me, it literally feels like you're playing a video game. If you're not in the Boise area, blackbox-vr.com. Go and find out if you have one in your area. I'm sure this is a company that is expanding very, very quickly, as Amber mentioned, even with everything that went on this year. Still able to expand. Of course, if you have any concerns about that, it is very, very strict. I mean, the headset is sanitized about 10 times over. They are in your own little private room, so there's not a bunch of people everywhere. They take everything very seriously there as well, which is also nice, because gyms right now a little sketchy of, do I want to touch what that person just touched? But they do a really good job making sure everything is clean and ready to go. As we get on to our next battle, it's Jake versus Isaac. If you're just joining us, here's your win conditions. It is going to be most crystals destroyed. If you're confused, just wait. We'll hop into the game. It'll make a ton of sense if you've ever touched a video game in your life. If there's a tiebreaker, we'll go to higher score differential. Not only do the crystals give you points, but the gates that protect the crystals also give you points. We just saw a double tiebreaker, Amber. Not only point differential, but total volume lifted between our last two competitors and Josh and Ryan. So, I mean, this is a very, very close competition. And, of course, with these are the top 16, Black Box VR participants, you're going to expect close battles like that.
Exactly. And what's so cool is that I've got to see so many of these people over the last year coming in almost regularly, some of them daily. And to see how much all of their hard work has paid off is really amazing.
Yeah, if you're familiar with any sort of game like a League of Legends or a Valorant, there's a ranking system. You get placed anywhere from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, or diamond. These guys are all diamond-level players. There's a couple of high platinums that I've told that are, hey, I mean, they're up against it because this is a diamond-level boss. So these are the best of the best. Some of, as Amber mentioned, guys who've been coming in for a while. So you're not just going to walk in and have to face what these guys are facing. You're going to work your way there. But these guys are making pretty quick work of Kamiko, the boss they're taking on. She's never even got much more than a gate destroyed for anybody.
It's true. They're really making it hard for her.
Yeah, I'm ready to hop in with Jake and Isaac, because if you're just joining us, it makes a lot more sense. We could explain it till we're blue in the face. I could do my best. I'm sure Amber could talk for hours on it. It makes just so much more sense when you get in and you actually do it. I mean, because we saw the tutorial video, and it's like, how does this look like when you put a VR headset on? It just makes so much more sense when you see it. If you do go try it, it's like, oh, this is super, super simple. But before we get to that, let's get to our pregame interview with Jake, and maybe we'll get some more smack talk, because that's my favorite part of these interviews.
Absolutely.
For the tournament, a few questions for you, Jake. How long have you been doing fitness?
Basically, been lifting since middle school, but off and on since then.
Right on, right on. Have you struggled with fitness before?
Can't say I have, no.
What's the hardest part about fitness in general to you?
Ooh. I'd say the time it takes to be fit.
Right, good answer. What's your favorite part about Black Box?
The reduction in time it takes to be fit.
Right on. What are your thoughts on today's battle?
It's going to be an interesting one. The old guy versus the young new hip engineer.
That's right. You're going against Isaac, so you got quite the task ahead of you, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Do you have any thoughts about Isaac?
He's a good guy, but we'll have to see how today's battle goes. Whoever loses gets fired. So.
Oh. Wow. Well, here, folks. The tensions are high. Thanks for the interview.
Oh, yeah.
And good luck to you.
That's what I like to hear. It wasn't as crazy as we saw with Josh, where he's like, I knew I wanted to get Ryan because I would absolutely smash him, which took a double tiebreaker. But I like the added stakes of whoever loses gets fired. We'll see if Jake follows through on that if he actually loses. I don't know if he wants to be fired after he put that bet in.
That's true. Once you throw those stakes out there, man, you got to bring your A game.
Oh, it looks like Jake might be running into some technical issues, maybe. Shaking the hands around. Never want that to happen. Hopefully he gets that figured out. Looks like he's got it all figured out here, so hopefully.
Well, and it's cool to see engineer versus engineer. I mean, both these guys, they do so much for the company in general, and they work so hard. If anybody can make some minor adjustments during a battle, it would definitely be Jake.
Yeah, it looks like he's having some issues with the little wrist plates there.
You know, tracking technology just is not cut up to where humans want it to be. I mean, I think that's just how all technology goes. We want it to do about 50 times more than it does, and we're not very patient with it either. So faster. We need more.
I'm glad I know what I looked like, because I actually had a similar issue to Jake where one of my hands wasn't responding. And I'm glad no one could see me, luckily, because I was on stream. Now I know exactly what I look like, just flailing my hand around, trying to see if it was picking it up. So Jake's got to come back from being down a lot, because you can see both his gates are being attacked, and we might see a point differential. We saw a tiebreaker in our last one, so those early minute and a half of losing the ability to do anything could be pretty costly for him.
It really could. It comes down to just those last little seconds.
Yeah, because you can see it looked like Isaac had already cleared out any sort of threat on his own gates and was pushing forward. Right now, Jake, waiting for the machine to get set for the squat, still has to deal with two separate champions. I'm surprised he didn't go with the AoE cold attack, because it looks like that is two tortures there. So I'm surprised he didn't want to go with the more AoE damage to take them both down quickly, because it looks like he's probably going to lose a gate here.
He definitely is losing the gate.
And so that, I mean, I'll be curious. If we come down to a 500-point difference, I would feel really bad for Jake, since he didn't have much control over the early part. But hopefully he can battle back from adversity.
Absolutely. And nothing's slowing him down now, though.
No, gets the max reps. Not on heavy just quite yet. Can't get that for the first few minutes of the battle. You can see they're still locked for a minute and a half. And surprised, he's got 3,500 energy elixir. I'm really curious if he's going to do any champions, or no, he just wants to keep right now putting out as many reps as he can. Kind of shocked about that.
And this is that strategy of just cranking out as many exercises as possible, letting your elixir stack up in that first half of the first round, and then you can just bombard the opponent. However, when you already have a gate down, it is a risky strategy to go with.
And we've talked so much about the Rock Dude. I mean, we even heard in our last interview from Ryan that he didn't bring the Rock Dude, and he said if he had to do it all over again, he would. So maybe surprised Jake hasn't put a Rock Dude out to take a lot of that damage, but right now he's trying to do everything he can. But his crystal is taking some heat right now. It's at 85%. I mean, if he loses a crystal, this could be a disaster.
It really could, and especially this early on.
Now, good news for Jake. Points might not come into play. Like we said, the win condition is just total crystals destroyed. So if he can destroy more than Isaac, it won't matter. This early disasterful start. Doesn't look like either player's taken down a gate. Now it looks like it's Isaac who's got to defend against Owinja charging down. It's really interesting to me how we haven't seen a competition where both players want to go in the same lane. We see Jake's wants to go to the right side for whatever reason. Isaac wants to go to the left side because that gate's at like 32%. It's interesting. They don't both favor the same gate. I don't know if it's personal preference. Maybe one's left-handed. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what drives a person. Again, with me, I just want to know where that first tank's landed so that I can give it as much defense as possible.
We see that the heavy sets have unlocked. Yeah, the issue I have is on some of the weights, my head will just look a little bit to the left because that's how you aim. You either look left real quick, look right. And so sometimes I'm like, wait, no, I wanted to be shooting to the left. And then I'm like, oh, come on. So, yeah, maybe they have like a slight lean when they work out, and that's why they do it, because you don't want to have to be nodding your head back and forth like a bobblehead. So maybe that's it. I have no idea. But we do get a rock dude here for Jake. So he's going to get that tank on the field to start helping his crystal. It's all the way down at 60%.
And I think this is a really smart choice. That rock dude's going to absorb so much damage, and I can just give him a little bit of room here. Oh, and then the Lightning Tiger to follow up is a really good combo.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Lightning Tigers. I'm really excited to use them next time I go in. I just unlocked them. They run all the way down to the gate or crystal. They can't be attacked by anything until they reveal themselves. So I'm really excited to see, because I like this strategy. We saw Josh use it pretty well. They're both now in double damage mode. So I'll see if one of them maybe they can either both get a gate or a crystal. Looks like Jake's gotten the gate first, so he's caught right back up.
Yeah, he really has. Oh, and he's hit hysterical right at the crystal.
This crystal's just falling over.
That's a great achievement.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I wish I could take out a crystal that fast. That's insane.
That was 25 seconds from gate destroyed to crystal destroyed. I mean, he had double damage mode, but he lined that up perfectly.
He even had a few hiccups in the beginning too, so I'm just, wow.
Yeah, I mean, Jake's like, hey, you can have a 2-minute advantage from Isaac. So Isaac's also lost a gate now. Both of them have lost the right gate. So that early hiccup not going to cost him, it doesn't look like. And looks like Isaac's still trying to take down the crystal, and his own's at 70%. So now he's the one who's got to find a way to maybe have one of those insane damage bursts, because he's really far behind.
He really is at this point.
He's got a rock dude beating down on him as well. Andy has the chest press, so he's not going to get super effective damage against the rock guy. He's going to be in for a world of hurt, I think.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the way I'd want to go with what he has on the field right now.
Well, actually, that was his rock dude. My bad. I thought it was the enemy rock dude, but that was actually his rock guy. So he's doing better than I thought.
Then that rock dude's just going to go start smashing that crystal.
That confused me there, because I saw the rock guy. It looked like he was attacking him, but I guess it was fending off some minions. He's got a tower he's got to deal with. And now no glove malfunction this time, and once again Jake finds himself in a very big hole early after the round reset. Maybe you use your Firehawk here? I wouldn't think you'd want to use it this early.
It's not recommended. It depends on what's on the field and where you're at, but it's best to save that one for the last bit there of all of the round.
He did pick the lamp pull down, so he'll do super effective damage to that title. Should be able to work through it pretty quickly here with the supercharge. Going to double the damage. Once he hits the hysterical like he just did, should be able to maybe swap sides and deal with the Aqua Fist. Looks like he will be able to do just that. Yep, so he clears the threat pretty easily.
And that gives him a lot of elixir to play around with right there. So he definitely has a lot more options available to him.
The Fire Beam chest press attacks one enemy at a time and does some serious damage.
No, both these guys go with the strategy you mentioned, Amber, where you build up, 4,000 or 5,000 energy elixir, and then you kind of put everything on the field. Which, it's not easy to build energy elixir when the opponent doesn't put anything out, though. So he'll just kind of sit on that for now. Interesting, and he's going to lose another gate, actually.
Yep, there it goes.
I see he didn't want to maybe put out like a rock dude there, but I mean, he would have had to go pretty quick through the punch slice combo, but.
And he is really focused right now, since the field is as empty as it is, to just get those hits in on that gate.
Trying to do as much as he can from the chest press. Gonna have to.
Oh, Machine's yelling at him.
Machine's like, if you're not gonna do it right, I'm not gonna let you do it. Maybe you go to medium here and take a little break. He wants to stay on heavy, though. He's got a lightning tower available.
Hey, he's definitely assessing the situation.
Does look like while we were off screen, Isaac took down the crystals. So they are all tied up in terms of one crystal aside. We'll see if Isaac can defend his gate unlike Jake could.
And Isaac's going with the Sunbird right now.
This is a strategy I like. I like to at least get 1 or 2 champions out while the round just starts. I've yet to learn the power of the build up as much energy elixir and then drop it all at once strategy that we see Jake doing.
If you can put your exercises on heavy and really bust a lot of them out, it's definitely a good way to go. Personally, I can't, so I just spend as soon as I get, so I get that little bit of buffer room.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm like, all right, I have energy elixir. Let's throw it away. I'm burning through it like my holiday money. You know, I get money for Christmas. All right, I'm going. Where can I spend it? What's open next day? How can I spend it?
How many lightning tigers can I get out here onto this field right now?
Exactly. How many cheap minions can I put out? And we see our both going for towers. Maybe looks like Isaac had queued one up. Maybe changed his mind. Wanted to get.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for a tank right now.
He's doing the strategy we talked about. Queue up an exercise, and then gonna summon a champion. One of the more complex combos I've seen. Looks like Jake's gonna do the same thing we saw earlier, where he'll build a tower and he'll hold on to it though. I'm waiting for a better time maybe.
It seems like the best time to use those if you're going to hold on to them is those low elixir moments.
Like, we do see Jake in double damage mode. He's already burst down 1 crystal. I don't think he'll be able to do it this time. He's actually going to summon a rock dude to be a tank. But curious if he wants to make use of this double damage that he's got going right now. Oh, he double tower from Isaac, it looks like?
Yeah. That was like what he's going for there.
Guy's going to summon all the scatties. Put as many ranged champions behind those towers. He only has enough for 1, but still set up. We've seen that kind of be the meta so far. Something covering Furrier Scotty and just let her just shoot without any issue right down the gate or at the crystal.
Absolutely. I mean, the next thing I would do right now would be to put one of those lightning tigers out there, get them gnawing on the gate.
He has enough. Looks like he's at 825. Could even have put another Scotty out there, but doesn't look like he wants to do that just yet. Maybe build up some more energy elixir. Unfortunately, the towers are blocking the gate health.
They are. They do take up a lot of visual space.
My only complaint, I can't see if Isaac's got back in. He destroyed the crystal second, so he is currently behind Jake just in terms of damage, you would have to think. And he's going to get supercharged on the chest press, get some extra energy elixir, and then change exercises. Go another rock dude, it looks like. Something big and beefy, I can see.
It looks like he's putting out, is it a big Sue? I think it's a big Sue.
Does look like we off screen from Ryan, or from Jake, I mean, can't hear, but I think I heard a Firehawk go out. Something.
Yeah, definitely that was a Firehawk. I'm not sure if that was from the AI or if that was from Jake.
So curious what predicament he was in that he felt the need to use a Firehawk.
Well, if I remember correctly, he definitely had an exposed crystal, so that can make you nervous.
Yeah. We do see that Isaac's gotten a gate down, so I'll be curious to see if he's caught up to Jake in terms of gate. We do see, actually, no, Jake's gotten both a gate and a crystal, so maybe he used a Firehawk to open up a way for him to get another crystal burst, maybe? I don't know. It's hard to say, but he has used it, so he's not going to have it for the second half of the battle.
And that is the downside. That is a one-time use, so use it wisely.
Also looks like he's used a power-up as well. Don't know what it was, if it was a grenade or a freeze or what, but it does look like he's used both a sidekick and his power-up. So he's only going to have 1 power-up left for the rest of the battle. Isaac hasn't used anything, so if he has a awful moment, he can still use that Firehawk or whatever power-ups he brought.
Their scores are pretty close. With 16 minutes left right now. Really interested to see how they're going to pull.
Yeah, it does look like Isaac's got supercharged squats in double damage mode. We're going to do everything except
a great
It
achievement.
looks like his champion will take out the crystal, and he's going with the strat we saw earlier of using that 10-second break, take off the headset, proper hydration, and catch back up to Jake here. A little bit behind, but still all square at 2 crystals aside.
And Isaac's going to just go right in with the Sunbird.
Jake has had no luck early. I mean, we see his right gate already once again at 40%. He has lost a gate every single round to start, so if he loses another one, Isaac might be able to maybe go around without losing a gate and start to build a point lead at least. Because he didn't lose a gate last round. You can see the point lead is in Isaac's favor.
It really is right now, and hopefully Jake can keep that right gate from completely diminishing there. But it's getting awfully low.
25%, taking a bunch of damage from the boss. And I think, unfortunately for Jake, he's going to lose another gate here.
You are taking them out quickly.
Got the tower in the way. Unfortunately for Jake, he's
Maintain proper exercise.
probably going to lose a gate. I guess I spoke too soon. The boss left it at 3%. Must have maxed out on the reps. See if the Kamiko can take it down on her next exercise.
Oh, 1%. It's dead. There it goes.
Fortunately for Jake, he's now got to probably win on crystals because it's a 1,000-point advantage for Isaac in the point differential tiebreaker.
Yeah, and that's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, that would basically be a full crystal, but as we've talked about, crystals destroyed is our first win condition, not just point differential or total points. So could be a chance here for Jake if he's able to power out maybe 2 more crystals, I'd have to think, here in the last 13 minutes. But with no sidekick, it's going to be pretty tough.
Rock Dude costs a lot of energy elixir, but he's worth it.
Really good combo that Jake's putting out right now.
With his high health.
Both going for the Rock Dude. Also, Jake has a fire tower available if he wants to use it at any point. He's got a ton of minions stacked up on that right side, very close to his crystal. He also got a tower on the right side he has to deal with as well. Got some lightning tiger action though with the Rock Dude. He's setting up for that all-out assault on the left lane. He doesn't care about that tower anymore.
Yeah, he's just going to move right around it.
So he's got double damage mode.
Now go after their crystal
I
and
think he
teach
queued
them
up
a
an
lesson.
exercise. Yeah, he did. He might be able to put out some serious damage here.
He took down their gate, so now he can use that double damage to go right after their crystal. It's going to be amazing.
And we've already seen him with a double damage hysterical squat take down a crystal in 25 seconds, which is absolutely insane. So won't have as much damage with the overhead press as it is a AoE effect. Doesn't do as much damage to the crystal. And unfortunately, he's got to change exercises, so he'll lose some of that double damage time. I'm surprised he's ignoring that tower for Jake, because it's kind of melting all of his minions that he tries to push down on the left side.
It really is.
Now he's just going for the brute force. He's got the crystal at 68%. Unfortunately, couldn't get as many overhead presses as he probably would like, so he'll have to queue up the squat, which seems to be his. Yeah, he's going to put it in heavy mode. He's got a plan. He's got one plan here, which is to do as many squats as possible and take down that crystal, or at least do as much damage as he can.
When you know your element, use it. Absolutely, every time.
Maybe build. It looks like he's going to build. He's actually going to change his mind. He's going to build a tower real quick here.
Ooh, with 2 titles coming at him. That's nerve-wracking.
I will say, and this is nothing against Jake or Isaac, in our first match, we saw how fast Preston was able to just absolutely build full health towers. It just amazes me how quickly he was able to go through the tower building, because a lot of these guys are getting about 50%. Preston would just rip it out and it'd be full strength right away. I mean, that's just incredible to see from him.
Yeah, that is hard too. I try to push all the way through so they have the full health. It hurts.
He's got 1 tower down. He'll switch to the lat pull down. Keep champion and heavy. Try and take down those titles in that torture with one nice thing. They're all standing right on top of each other at least.
This is true. This is where an area of effect attack would be really, really helpful. They're just right there. Thankfully on his left side and not his right.
Yeah, if it was on his right side, it could be a total disaster. So hopefully he'll be able to hold on to this gate. He's trying to put out as much area damage as he can. He's got the supercharged lat pull downs that is going to be super effective against both titles, but unfortunately, I mean, we're 20 minutes in and you can just start, I mean, that's where you really start to feel it. He only didn't even get him to half health. He might lose another gate here, which would be just absolutely detrimental to him.
It really would at this point. Isaac being able to defend his gates has really helped him keep that point lead.
You have, I mean, Jake has a crystal down. He's what is he? He's waiting for something. I'm curious what he's waiting for. He's waiting to deploy the Winja for some reason. Maybe waiting for the boss to switch attacks. Not sure. But the nice thing about Winja, it also does AoE damage, so it'll take down both those titles relatively quickly, or at least do some decent damage to them.
I just have to say, Jake's left gate there is getting pretty low too. That's making me nervous.
Yeah, this was the most damage we've ever seen the boss do to anyone's crystal. And I would think a crystal destruction by the boss would be game over because he'd lose all his progress he has on that gate, but he finally gets the titles taken down. He's going to get a ton of energy elixir from taking down those two big guys, and this might be enough for him to take down this crystal, and he would have a pretty decent lead over Isaac, who just take down his second one and is still working on gates and all that. So Jake's in a pretty comfortable spot if he can take down this crystal on the left side and give himself a 1 crystal lead in the last 8 minutes.
That would be very beneficial for him right now.
Letting his champions do a majority of the work. They've already got it down to 22% and dropping pretty quickly. So he should be able to go up a crystal. Yeah, he's just going to spend all his energy elixir. He knows it resets. He's going to just throw down the whole zoo of lightning tigers right at that crystal and try and take it down. Give himself a breather as well.
Which is, I think, super smart.
Yeah, not only did he not have to do any workouts, I mean, the slice punch patterns are definitely challenging, but they're a lot easier than any rep you're doing. He gets a 10 seconds, so he gets another crystal. So he's currently sitting up 3 crystals to 2, so Isaac's going to be the one who's going to have to push here in the last 8 minutes, and he's flying through this Rock Dude summon right now.
He really is.
Maybe he, went for the inverse instead of, going all in at the start. He's maybe got the energy left to tie this one up, and I mean, because if it goes to point differential, he's in the lead.
Yeah, he's staying really solid through all of this.
Actually, looks like maybe he took down it looks like he actually used the Firehawk there. You can see he doesn't have the green dot next to his sidekick. So maybe when we were focusing on Jake, he took down a crystal. He's actually tied it up. Yeah, they both have taken down a crystal. So Isaac's now sitting in a good spot with that point differential.
And that could be what it comes down to in this.
I mean, yeah, he's 7 minutes left and he's still putting out hysterical from the squats. That's pretty impressive in terms of pacing himself and having this much energy left with the battle almost done.
Both very strong competitors.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even come close to this. And unfortunately for Jake, he might lose another gate. Once again, that right gate being attacked very early and often by Kamiko as soon as the round resets. And that's happened to him all 3 rounds, and that's a big reason why he's given up the 1,500 points.
Yeah, Kamiko is being oddly consistent on that right side.
He's just, it's not just 1 or 2 champions, it's like 3 or 4 that she all jams down on the right side that Jake unfortunately has had to deal with every round. You can see 2 of them just punching away at his gate, waiting for his overhead press to load up. Not going to have super effective damage since it is a fire attack going into 2 water champions, but will have the AoE at least. But right now, he's just ignoring it. Looks like he wants to power through a gate, go gate for gate, maybe try and get a crystal here.
You look awesome.
Yeah, that looks like the strategy he's trying to go with.
Doesn't have the Firehawk either, so he's not able to clear the field. is an interesting strategy from him.
Be sure to pull straight down and keep your body steady. Follow the video example.
Switches it to medium, so not going to have the hysterical damage, but should make it a little bit easier on himself to go through more reps and be able to take down that right side, because he has lost his gate once again.
Yes, he has.
I'd be pretty upset if I were on the blue team right now. They need to rethink their strategy.
Even the AI announcer's making fun of him. I won't be that mean to it.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh.
It's supercharged. Should be able to get a ton of energy elixir, but we see Isaac right now powering through the squats. Looks like he even just took down a gate as well, so he's building himself a sizable lead right now.
Yeah, that other gate was very helpful for him. And now with the field being as empty as it is, he could take a time to do direct attacks right on that crystal.
He's got that fire turret protecting his Scotty, so she's going to be able to just free shoot at that crystal. You can see how much damage she's doing. In the top right hand, the crystal just dropping about 1% a second with him just being able to chill out there. So Isaac put himself in a really, really strong position. One, he hasn't lost a gate nearly as often as Jake, and two, he's set himself up to maybe take down a crystal and put himself in almost a guaranteed win, because he'd have also the crystal lead at 4-3 if he's able to take this one down.
Yeah, that's going to put Isaac in a great spot right now. Absolutely.
Didn't hear the hysterical, so for whatever exercise Jake is doing, he is at least mounting a little bit of a comeback right now.
Isaac's going again with the big Sue. He is the air tank.
There, and he's going to load it up with probably, can't see if that's 2,800 or 285 energy elixir. Let's just be 280. Yeah, just 285. So we'll get one Scotty back there to help the air tank out. We might lose a gate, though. You see the Winja and all those minions on the right side for Isaac.
Yeah, they're definitely working on that.
Fortunate for Jake. I think that hysterical, all that did was give him some breathing room, because he still hasn't taken down a gate. So not only is he down in points scored, he's also got a much smaller point differential between him and the boss as well. So he's going to maybe have to get a crystal and hope Isaac falls flat in these last 3 minutes to pull out with the victory.
Yeah, this has become very hard for Jake.
They both got double damage, which is good and bad for Jake.
And it keeps going like this for them, the round is going to be lost, and their mamas will be crying all the way home.
Does look like Isaac did lose that gate, but
yep,
he's got double damage mode. He's probably just going to try and burn down the last 20% on Kamiko's crystal and all but guarantee himself advancing to the next round.
Oh, and the AI just deployed their Firehawk.
Oh, that is unfortunate. I think that's the first time we've seen the AI even use their Firehawk all game.
Yeah, I have to admit, I prefer when they don't.
And unfortunately, not only did that come when it was double damage, so Jake lost any champions, but we see that Isaac's taking down another crystal. So Jake would need to take down this crystal and then another crystal in 2 minutes. He got this one at least, but he's going to have an insane 2 minutes here if he wants to pull out the victory, because they are tied at 4 crystals aside, but you can see it's the 1,000-point lead in the point differential right now for Isaac.
Yeah, those extra gates really put Jake at a disadvantage.
And for whatever reason, Jake, every time he started a round, has just been bombarded by enemy champions on the right side. So we'll see if he can even hold on to his gate this time, let alone maybe being able to mount an attack.
If I was Jake, I would be throwing a take on that right side just cause.
Looks like he's gonna maybe go, he has both towers available, so maybe he goes with the double tower strat. He's at least building one right now. Get as many reps as he can to get it some more armor. Probably deploys that, I'd have to think right away. Unfortunately for Jake, I just think he's going to run out of time, it looks like. some pressure on Isaac's gate, but
Use your shoulders
he does
and
have
arms
gates
and
are only
not
worth
your legs to
500
push
points,
upwards.
so
He's got a cushion right now.
yeah, he's got a 2-gate cushion. I don't think Kamiko's gonna be able to take down both gates. Jake's trying to defend his right side gate once again. Just think unfortunately he'll run out of time. So it looks like we'll have another tiebreaker actually. This one doesn't need a second tiebreaker though, because it looks like barring some sort of insane damage from Kamiko here in the last 10 seconds, Isaac will advance with the 5,000 point advantage versus the 4,000 point advantage.
Yeah, you can tell that both of these guys, they push extra hard to get those crystals like that.
And it was a really good job by Jake, who had a little bit of a glove malfunction at the very start, but he powered through it. Actually had a lead on the first 3 crystals from what I've been told, and then it was just that 4th crystal and losing a gate every single round is what cost him. So Isaac's going to advance, but another incredibly close match, and you can see why these are the top 16 competitors, because we haven't really seen a huge blowout. These guys have been neck and neck for basically the entire time.
Yeah, they really have. They both showed, I think they both brought their A game for this one for sure.
Yeah, and it was really, really good effort by both of them. Isaac will advance on the point differential, having 1,000 more points than Jake in terms of difference between him and the boss. Well, this is all being brought to you, the Black Box VR Winter Invitational, that is. It's supported by Bang Energy. And if you're looking for something to fill your next workout, maybe a Black Box VR or a hike, hopefully when it warms up. If you're hiking right now in Boise, I would think you're just a crazy person. If you want that sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, Bang is the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel, which is something you really are going to need if you do check out Black Box VR. There is not just the physical aspect as you may have picked up on. There's a lot of, okay, how do I counter what the AI is doing to me? So Bang Energy, definitely would recommend it because you want to be at your top physical and mental performance when you go into Black Box VR. As we head into our last match of the night, we should have a post-game interview with one of the contestants there. Have to see who it is going to be. And we get an update on our bracket. We do see that Mr. Mojo has advanced. Didn't have that one on the stream, but he has been able to advance, we're told, off stream. So we're starting to build these top 8 competitors. And for Josh, Isaac, and Preston, the ones we've saw, they have all been really, really strong competitors that could go all the way. But it looks like we'll go, speaking of Isaac, let's go to the post-game interview. Let's see how he felt advancing on a tiebreaker.
Interview. How do you feel about your performance today, Isaac?
I think it went pretty well. Performed peak level. I think I could have gone a little bit harder at the end, but I felt good.
Okay, yeah, that's my next question. Would you have done anything differently?
I think I could have held the elixir a little bit. My elixir was a little loose with it. Could have held a little tighter, could have made some better plays, put tanks out when I needed to, but I decided not to.
Gotcha. Well, tell me a little bit about the boss you faced today.
Arena 7 boss, Kamiko. Specialty was wind and lightning.
Okay.
They put out a lot of water, so I had to do a lot of lightning too. But they're pretty good. They didn't use as many tanks as I thought they would, which was good for me. But yeah, went good.
Right on. Well, thanks, Isaac. Appreciate it. Great job today.
Thank you.
Land of Schmucks. You heard it here first.
Now, what I want to know is, in the pregame interview with Jake, he said loser gets fired. Do you think he'll follow through on that now that he lost?
No one has informed me yet, but I'll keep you posted on that one.
Yeah, I want to know. I'm going to say, you were the one who brought the bet to the table. Loser gets fired. You can't, got to follow through on that. I think he thought he was going to win, and it came down to a tiebreaker. So maybe he'll say, hey, since it was a tiebreaker, I'll just buy you lunch or something. Who knows? Maybe he'll settle for that option.
For sure, because I think honestly we would crumble without Jake.
You'll say, no, you can fire, you can get fired, but we'll just hire you right back. We can't afford to lose you.
Exactly.
So we're going to have our final matchup here of the night. It's going to be, I hope, another really, really good one here. We've seen back-to-back tiebreakers. I mean, I would not be shocked if we maybe get another one. I mean, all of these competitors, diamond level, they're destroying the diamond level boss with ease. I mean, that is one thing to point out. None of these guys have even lost a crystal. So it's going to be Andrew versus Austin in our final matchup. And we're curious to see if 3 or 4 crystals seems to be about what the sweet spot is for the winner.
That seems to be about what everybody's hitting right now, yes.
I'd be really curious. We've seen sort of the strategy. We talked about tanks. Even Isaac mentioning that he would have been more useful with his energy elixir and that the boss didn't deploy as many tanks. So we've seen, as he said, and it was true, we've seen a ton of titles, a ton of water champions from the boss. We'll be curious to see if these guys are going to load up on lightning attacks early, or if they're going to maybe load up on wind champions to counter those water champions, because that's kind of what cost Jake, was he couldn't counter those titles quick enough early in the game.
Absolutely. All right, let's listen to Austin.
Yeah, let's hear their pre-game interview.
Clap the hands. We're going to sync it up. Audio. Go ahead and clap. All right, folks, I'm here with Big Papa Z here at Black Box VR. Got a few questions for you, Austin. How long have you been doing fitness?
I've been in fitness 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, that's quite some time. Have you ever struggled with fitness at all, like in your past?
You know, I've gone from different sport to different sport. I've done everything from triathlon, Spartan racing, and everything kind of in between. So this is a whole new adventure for me.
Right, it's a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
What do you say is the hardest part about fitness, like in general?
You know, just consistency. Just sticking with it, having a routine all the time that you can go back to. That's brutal.
For sure, definitely. And what would you say is your favorite part about Black Box?
The competition. I love getting in the battles. Every time you get in, there's a new opponent. There's new challenges. I love the competition.
Right on. Me too. And moving into today's battle, what are your thoughts on the battle today that you have ahead of you?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Well, how do you feel about your opponent? You're going against Andrew. He's one of the top guys here at Black Box. So what are your feelings going towards going against him?
Definitely the underdog today. Definitely the underdog, but we're going to give him a run for his money.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Well, last question, we'll wrap up with this, Austin. Where do you see Black Box VR taking you in the future as far as like fitness?
You know, from the Spartan racing now to Black Box, just continuing myself as an athlete. So I'm going to push myself in a whole new way and hopefully be a future Black Box athlete.
Right on, that's what we like to hear. Well, thanks, Austin. Good luck with your battle today.
Thanks.
I'm disappointed for our last match of the night we didn't get some epic trash talk.
That's true.
I mean, we've had, you know, this guy's going to be easy. We've had loser loses his job talk, and then, you know, I'm respecting, hey, it's going to be a tough challenge. But come on, you're the underdog. You got to say something to maybe fire up Andrew, maybe distract him a little bit going into the matchup, being like, hey, I can't believe he talked smack on me. And then maybe he's like, oh, wait, you know, I'm not all the way in. So, yeah, I mean, you heard it there. Austin going to be a little bit of an underdog against Andrew. So curious to see who's going to come out here on top. It's our final match of the night here in the 2020 Winter Invitational Tournament for Black Box VR. That doesn't mean we're done. We're just trying to get down to the top 8 competitors. And, of course, we'll eventually crown a champion. So I'm really curious to see if it maybe is Lightning Tigers, if it's just a ton of rock dudes, how they manage their energy elixir. There's a ton of, you know, strategy behind what looks like just a simple workout game when you first get into it.
There really is. And if you haven't played a lot of strategy games, sometimes this can be a little bit of a catch-up for you. But we always love helping people figure out, you know, the best strategies and the decks that they should lay out inside of their apps before they go in. So, again, we just try to make that so it is something that's approachable from all backgrounds.
So we see here how we started. 16 competitors, and probably the first time you can truly say that they are putting the sport in esport, because there is a lot of physical activity going on. Of course, you could see it with the competitors, with the cams, and just how hard they are working. So we've already had 3 really great matches, a couple of them coming down all the way to tiebreakers. You see right there the win conditions. Most crystals destroyed. If they are tied, we'll go to higher score differential, as in how much higher their score was than the boss's score. And if we've had a tie on that, which we've already had tonight, we'll go to total volume lifted to have an overall champion. We've seen everything. We've seen just a normal finish. We've seen a double tiebreaker. We've seen 1 tiebreaker. So I have no idea what to expect. They might even tie in volume here in our last match, and we just roll a 12-sided dice at this point. As we see a little bit about Kamiko, as we heard in our post-game interview, definitely focuses on the lightning attacks and summons a ton of titles, and Aquafist really focuses on those water champions. So it makes you do a ton of wind attacks yourself, which are super effective against champions like Tidal and Aquafist.
Yeah, she's definitely going to keep our competitors utilizing those rows and those lats throughout these workouts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the tower strategy, because that's the other thing that I think is really unique about this is not only do you have the champions, you also have the towers that you can summon. We've seen a couple guys just bang them out and immediately throw them on the field because they last through the reset, and some guys have built them up and then saved them for when they needed them the most. So I'll be curious to see what Austin and Andrew want to do here in our final matchup of the night as we kick things off. And I think, as something that I've noticed, early defense is going to be key here. You don't want to lose a gate in the first few minutes like we saw in our last match, because Kimiko comes hot and fast on that right side, particularly with a lot of those title champions. You can see already one coming down against both of them.
Absolutely. I mean, again, she is consistent in her approach here, but I think Austin was great just having a tank ready just to go right outside of that right side.
Keep your head straight.
And use that tank to prevent his gate from taking any damage. Austin, Andrew just trying to power through with some rows. Has the supercharge there, so he'll sacrifice some damage, and he actually maxes the rep, so he's going to have to change exercises and let that title just kind of beat on his gate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch his strategy here.
I think he's got, yeah, there's an Aquafist and a title that are both punching down on his gate. Now he's going to go for the rock dude here, probably summon it to absorb some of that damage. Meanwhile, Austin has dealt with the title, has a ton of energy elixir. He's actually going to throw down his own title. First time we've seen someone opt for the water tank so far that isn't Kimiko, at least.
It's true. Title is a trusty one. I actually prefer having a title and a rock dude in my deck at all times, just because title costs a little bit less to get out there and he's a little faster on the pattern. So if you just need to get a tank out on the field, he is a good one to go with.
He looks like, can't tell through the reps what exactly he's tanking, but he's definitely tanking potentially another title based on what I can see on Austin's screen. And meanwhile, we see Andrew's recovered. He's got a rock dude slowly working his way down the field towards that left gate.
Yep, going with the Scotty combo since his rock dude's out there.
This is the Firehawk from Austin. Going to put that one behind his title. Who's currently battling another one. Did that Firehawk just get deleted? Yeah, it did, unfortunately. Yeah,
some birds just don't have the type of health that you really want them to, just because they have that advantage of being an aerial unit.
Now, we have seen some competitors wait until the boss, who is also forced to change attacks, to spawn one out. So maybe for Austin, maybe could have waited a little bit for the boss to be forced to change attacks, because, yeah, that Sunbird, as you mentioned, doesn't have as much health because it does have the aerial advantage, and that's wasted energy elixir, and you probably don't want that early on, because right now his right side gate is getting just obliterated just by the boss at this point.
It really is. It's not going to take too much more.
25 reps is the maximum.
And he's maxing out on his reps, which not even going to get hysterical since we're still waiting for that to come online. Takes a little bit for it to charge up, so he's going to have to opt for another Sunhawk. Hopefully this one lives longer than the 2 seconds, if even that's how long the other one lasted.
And he's got a title coming straight at him.
2 titles, one in each lane.
Oh, yeah, she's being efficient.
Maybe you use your Firehawk here and just clear the whole lane, maybe?
I mean, it is tempting. It's a little early to do it, but it's hard not to want to when you got 2 tanks. But right now in the first round, his power-up's not going to be available to him.
He's going to summon a Lightning Tiger to try and at least distract the boss a little bit. Load up the lap pull-downs for the super effective damage against the title. Fortunately, just stuck for the machine to get ready, so he's going to lose some gate health. And right now, first time we've seen her go both lanes at the same time. Usually we've seen her focus down one, so he's got to defend both sides. We see that the right gate's very low. The left gate's still pretty healthy for Austin.
Yeah, definitely focusing on that right side there on that title. That's the best way to go right now. But his gate's getting dangerously low.
I think if the boss queues up attack, you see the ice shards ready to go, he might lose that right side gate. Meanwhile, Andrew's not in a much better position. You can see his left gate's all the way at 30%. His right gate's also incredibly low, so neither of them are really in a great position right now.
They really aren't, especially this early on.
I will say, I actually just noticed Andrew has destroyed a gate, so he's at least got a crystal that he can attack eventually. He loses his own gate, but he's at least got a little bit of an advantage.
You will. This is your chance to show the world who you are.
Double damage bonus.
That's probably the best time to get double damage.
Yeah, that was really good timing.
Team's gate is gone. I say it's gone.
Austin's lost the gate though, so both players down to 500 points. Unfortunately for Austin, he is
500 points are
not really close to destroying Kamiko's gate. They're both about mid-70s. So once Andrew survives this threat, if he does, he'll be able to attack directly on the crystal.
Yeah, that title's definitely going to be in his way, so he's going to have to take care of that if he wants to start doing direct damage on Kamiko's crystal.
I think he's going to actually lose his other gate too. First time we've seen Kamiko take down both gates. So now he's going to have a fully exposed crystal to deal with. We have yet to see the boss take down someone crystal, which would be just absolutely detrimental because it would force a full reset. You lose all that progress, and he does get a rock dude out, so that should help a little bit.
But definitely if I was Andrew right now, I would be sweating.
He's got to, it looks like he's going to try and use all that energy elixir he's stored up to try and get as much distractions on the field as possible. Now queue up an exercise. Looks like Austin's gate on the left side also incredibly low. Has the supercharged squash. I don't know if it's going to be enough. If not, so now he has an exposed crystal that's already in 67% because he hadn't had his right gate for a while. He might actually lose his crystal here for Austin, which would be absolutely just awful for him.
It really would be. It'd be the first one we've seen lose a crystal, but this is definitely the first pair that we've seen lose 2 gates like this.
Work those glutes and hamstrings.
Yeah, good news for Andrew at least. He is also attacking Kamiko's crystal. He has that left side gate destroyed. He's gone with the standard strategy we've seen a lot of competitors do. One rock dude, a couple of Scotties just sitting in the back line, not have to worry about any sort of damage, and now he's just going to try and go to squats and just try and blast down that crystal, and it looks like he should probably get pretty close here. If he can go to the hysterical reps, I think he should get it, and that'll be a huge advantage for him to not only take the lead, but destroy the first crystal of this matchup as well, and he gets it done.
Absolutely.
See, unfortunately for Austin, he is still just trying to defend his crystal. It's all the way at 30%. Now the boss is just going to direct target it. He might actually, unfortunately, lose this crystal here.
You know, with Andrew's 1,000-point lead there, it's really putting Austin at a disadvantage.
An early lightning tiger, not something we've seen very often. Andrew's going to deploy one out, probably just wants some damage. And yeah, we see, unfortunately for Austin, he's now lost a crystal as well. So not only is he losing to the boss, but he is going to have to reset. He's going to lose all that progress he had on that gate as well.
Be smart with them.
I wonder what he wants to go for if you're Austin. You need some sort of miracle round here for him if you want to catch back up.
Yeah, you can tell he's thinking this through.
I mean, maybe, we've seen the Rock Dude, Scotty combination come out a lot. He's going to go with Tidal. We haven't seen very often, but bad news for him is that the boss for Kamiko has very high lightning attacks, do super effective damage to that Tidal, so it won't live as long as a Rock Dude.
And with Kamiko putting out so many water units on the field too, it's just a Tidal's just not going to be as strong against it.
It's going for at least double Lightning Tiger maybe, just trying to put up as much early damage on that gate. We see that much as we've seen throughout the night, the early aggression when the crystals reset going to Kamiko for Andrew. He's trying to defend that right gate once again. Both players really loving these Lightning Tigers right now. Most we've seen from either player using them is he's got a Rock Dude, he's got a Scotty, and now he's got a Lightning Tiger on the right side for Andrew. So he's definitely also trying to put some damage in on that opposing gate.
Yeah, this should really help him and protect that side. With that gate getting down in the 50%, you just want to be real careful.
It's like the it looks like the minions have just been putting in some work because the left gate for Andrew for the boss is at 50%. So unfortunately for him, his champions aren't on the right side, and it looks like, you know what, Kamiko's going to say enough of that. She's actually going to call in her own Firehawk and just clear the whole board.
Well, at least at this point, we know that Kamiko doesn't have another one of those up her sleeve.
Yeah, for Andrew, his only disadvantage is that you see both of his gates are below 50%. He focused on the right side. He had a ton of minions come out and put in a lot of damage on the left side. So that damage being split could come back to cost him. We see another titles coming out here from Austin, and he's done a good job defending his gates early on. So he should be able to maybe get a gate of his own here very soon.
Austin using the Lightning Tiger.
With 2 titles charging him down, Andrew's going to build up a fire tower. Interesting choice from him. I guess wants to maybe stop those titles in the future.
You are taking them out quickly.
The Tesla Tower would be a better choice, but a fully armored fire tower is definitely going to give him a lot of help.
Just glance at a lane to select it, and then
Steric will come out from Austin on the squats on some nice base defense, so won't be able to use a lot of that damage, but he's going to be able to do it to get the gate down. So he's got the title and the Scotty on the right side. Looks like he might have hit max reps. And is he going for squats again?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I mean, if he just maxed reps on Hysterical, why not, right?
If your legs aren't tired.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he's not even halfway through the battle, and we've seen fatigue be a real big factor for a lot of these competitors, where in the last 10 minutes, there's a lot of, catching your breath, trying to use as much of the downtime as you can. So don't want to panic, maybe, since he lost that early crystal and run out of steam in the last 5 minutes. He should be able to burn through this, so maybe the double squats was the right choice. Buy himself a nice little break.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yep, using that downtime to catch some water. So he has tied things up. Bad news for him. Point differential probably not going to be on his side, and we do see that Andrew on the right side has an exposed crystal that he can start attacking. So Austin about a half a round behind or so, and a double damage for Andrew, so he's going to be able to power through this crystal pretty quickly.
And luckily, with having this extra tower on hand, Andrew can protect that right-hand gate that's getting dangerously low.
For Austin, champion already at his gate, and a tower, it looks like, from Kamiko. This is probably the meanest she's been to any of our players tonight in terms of what she's been able to do to Austin, taking not only down his crystal, but a ton of early pressure as well.
She is really pushing Austin around.
Forcing him to do... No, it doesn't look like that's the squats. It looks like that's the...
That's the deadlift.
The deadlift, but still putting a ton of pressure on him with the ice attacks, and he's been pulling them out. And it looks like Andrew took down a crystal, so... He's got a pretty sizable lead here, just about halfway through our last battle.
He really does, and Kamiko only being up 1,000 points with Andrew there. I think Andrew's got a decent buffer.
First time we've seen the strategy of spend all of your energy elixir right at the reset. We've seen a lot of the competitors, they'll use that 1,800 you get when the round resets. They'll take down a bunch of enemy champions and then put out a whole army, but he's going to go with a rock dude right away to try and take down that tower, or at least take a majority of the damage for him.
Andrew choosing to go with the heavy option there. And he's going to use a grenade.
Really going to take down all those towers. Looks like there's an Aqua Fist in there. Might be a Torture. There's a ton of action going in on the right side for Andrew that he's eventually going to have to deal with here.
I'm wondering if Austin's going to be a little less panicky now that he's tied up with Kamiko at this point.
And doing a good job defending his base from that title. Should give him a ton of energy elixir if he can take it down. Looks like he will, and then he'll end the rep. So he's going to have maybe 2,000 or so. See if he wants to spend it. Looks like he is going to do just that. Looks like he's gone away from the titles finally. Looks like that's the wind tank he's going to call out on the field there. Maybe deal with those titles a little bit better than we've seen Kimiko just have a ton of.
I think honestly Big Sue would be just the way to go for all of this, which I'm going to make my own notes.
Taking some, all right, Kimiko, make sure Big Sue's in the lineup. Everything is going to be water. That's the nice thing. We get a little bit of advantage. When we make it to Diamond League, we'll know exactly what to expect.
Exactly.
I'm really happy that the Lightning Tiger build is a thing, because I was like, all right, do I want to waste my coins on Lightning Tigers? And we've seen Andrew, I think we saw Josh do it earlier as well, where they just kind of spam Lightning Tigers and let them sneak past everything. So I'm really glad that strategy's working out. You can see for Andrew, he's got 2 Scotties, he's got 2 turrets, he's got a Lightning Tiger. He's going to just burn through this Crystal for Kimiko pretty quick, I think.
I think so as well. And honestly, I actually get a lot of my strategy advice from Andrew. He's been playing Black Box longer than I have. He's been with us for a long time and just has really got a good grasp on a lot of the cards and who to use and which ones to switch out and with everything. So definitely a good brain to pick if you're ever in the gym. You bump into him, ask him how to set your deck up.
I mean, he played this perfectly. He's able to take a nice 45-second breather because he's just going to let his Scotties and his towers do all the work for him. I mean, absolutely well played by him. And not to mention, first time I think I've seen Kimiko did no damage to anything of his. I mean, he played that round perfectly with those 2 towers that, as you talked about, last indefinitely until they're destroyed. They don't get destroyed by the reset like everything else does.
And they're very handy that way.
Well, for Austin, he does have a gate down. He's got supercharged. He's gone back down to the squats. Oh, I think he dropped the handles, unfortunately. So it's gonna force him to reset. So
he might be getting gassed at this point. He did push really hard on those back-to-back squat sets.
Yeah, he has been. You can definitely see maybe what his favorite exercise is, because he has leaned heavily on those squats to try and get him back in this competition. Unfortunately for him, Andrew, who, as he mentioned, was going to be a hard matchup. The right side just looks just like an absolute minefield of blue for him, and Kimiko's not been able to do anything to it. It's both the turrets are still up. There's a Scotty just chilling in the background. Has that right side set up perfectly.
He really does, and it's just and we've seen how she just comes down the right side like she does every time. It's a good strategy to go with.
Finally going to lose a tower. So it's going to open it up just a little bit. Still hitting hystericals, though, too. Andrew's done a really good job of being able to pace himself. Looks like he'll summon. Now he's going to bring the Rock Dude out. Curious if he has enough built-up energy to make another tower with how long those other ones lasted. Well, it doesn't look like he's quite that close, unfortunately.
No, he needs to do a few more fire exercises at least to get to that fire tower.
Well, he's got a Winja deployed against him. Well, he did. I was going to say he can do fire exercises against the Winja, but that Rock Dude just kind of handled business. We're seeing why a lot of the competitors either used him or we've had them mention that they wish they would have brought him to this matchup.
I mean, even at a low level, he is actually very handy to use. He takes longer pattern, more elixir to get out, but definitely worth it.
Does look like Austin has taken down a Crystal. So he's keeping up the best he can. Still down 3 Crystals to 2, unfortunately. So he's going to have a little bit of work left out for him if he wants to try and catch up in these last 10 minutes. Still has the Firehawk, so maybe he deploys a Firehawk here, wipes out the Tidal and the Torture that are walking down the field, and sets himself up nicely for a nice little catch-up first round, potentially.
That would really put him in a better spot all the way around.
Trying to deploy that Lightning Tiger.
He's going to use a Berserk.
Just to power up. Looks like his own Tidal in a Lightning Tiger. There's another Lightning Tiger coming down. Feels like he's maybe setting up for a Firehawk here and just wants to have everything down on that other side.
There it goes.
That was a really brilliant strategy there by Austin. I mean, might make up some time here. I mean, that gate is falling incredibly quickly. Meanwhile, for Andrew, with the round reset, has taken down a gate, so he's now attacking a crystal himself, so he's going to make it a little bit harder for Austin to catch up. He's summoned a ton of lightning tigers on that right side for Austin, trying to burst through that gate. Pretty low. It's at 4%, so he should be able to get through it. He's not going to be able to attack the crystal.
There he goes.
Andrew's got the crystal for Kamiko at 58%, but he's got to go into guys in his face. So looks like he'll summon his own Aqua Fist. First time we've seen that all game. Someone besides Kamiko uses an Aqua Fist.
And he is a good go-to for a lower point level. He's kind of a Aqua Fist would be a mid-range. Doesn't cost quite as much, but can deal a decent amount of damage.
Another Lightning Tiger deployed by Andrew, so he'll have that Aqua Fist and Lightning Tiger down there. Does look like Austin took down that gate, and the look like the two Scotties are putting in work. He should get this crystal down, so he's going to get his third and catch up briefly to Andrew at least.
The blue team destroys the red team's crystal and has earned 1,000 more points.
Unfortunately for Austin, Andrew's fourth crystal is only is at 20%, so he's going to take the lead back very quickly here.
Yeah, it will be a short victory there for Austin. But he worked very hard to catch up to this point.
Now losing, first time we've seen Kamiko take down somebody's crystal. He was able to rally, catch up all the way back to Andrew just for a moment. Looks like he's going to do another Sunbird here. Hopefully this one lives longer. Sunbirds haven't had the best of days out so far. Been focused down pretty quickly by Kamiko.
He does make short work of them.
I really like Andrew's strategy. He's played this out perfectly where he has gotten like long breaks of just knowing, hey, if my champions are going to overwhelm our crystal, I can just kind of stand here and catch my breath and set himself up nicely, maybe even take down what would be a fifth crystal. So he just got his fourth one there and has a pretty decent lead over Austin. Austin just got his third one down, so he's still got to get through a gate and a whole lot of crystal here in the final 7 minutes.
I think there's a lot of benefit to having those little bit longer breaks that are unexpected. You can get your wind back, get your strength for another burst. When you're scrambling and panicking, you're just using up a lot more energy.
He's got a title chasing him down, some of these Spark Crows.
Keep your head straight.
And he's just going to start spamming Lightning Tigers. It looks like he's going to go on the left side now. He's got a Scotty out there, and he's just going to start spamming the Lightning Tigers, trying to do as much damage to that gate on the left side here pretty quickly for Andrew. Deerwear is hysterical for Austin, so he's putting in a ton of work off screen right now, trying to keep this game close.
Absolutely.
25 reps is the maximum allowed.
They even hit max. I mean, max reps in the final 7 minutes is pretty impressive. He's still got a ton of, managing his stamina just as well as Andrew. Unfortunately, trying to catch up from his earlier crystal destruction that he had against him. There are a ton of Lightning Tigers right now for Andrew. He's letting these Lightning Tigers do a majority of the work for him, which is really, really impressive. I mean, he's got the Scotty and the Lightning Tigers. He might take down this gate here pretty soon on the left side.
Definitely. As Scotty's just staying right on it.
Got his overhead press ready to go. Can't quite see the health. It looks like it's maybe 17. Actually, he destroyed it, so it was actually lower than that. So he's got the gate. Now that crystal's wide open for all those Lightning Tigers and that Scotty to just absolutely tear apart here while he just tries and destroys the Torturer against him.
I'd say Austin made an impressive recovery.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the fact that he's able to get back to 3 crystals, unfortunately, he's trying to defend his base right now. If he can get that, maybe he can set up for something in the last 5 minutes. I don't know if he'll be able to catch Andrew, who's now working on what would be his 5th crystal, and have to think that would put the game away with Austin only at 3. But Austin, he said, he's come back from utter disaster in the first 5 minutes of losing his crystal, being down 1,500 points to Kamiko. So I'm really impressed with how hard he's been able to fight back, especially with the squat usage of just back-to-back hysterical squat reps, which is just incredibly impressive.
Yeah, that is a lot of stamina.
The Rock Dude out as well to deal with the title. Slow him down at least.
Keep your head straight. Just glance at the lane to select it and then face ahead during reps.
Should be able to get the title. Wonder what he'll do with that extra energy elixir, because unfortunately for Austin, he's also very much in risk of losing that right side gate again.
This is true.
Andrew's just content to spam Lightning Tigers. He's got Kamiko's crystal at 12%, so 2 or 3 Lightning Tigers here would be enough. Actually wants to go with the Spark Crows this time. Interesting choice.
Those are one of his favorites.
Probably just want to go for the multiple Lightning Tigers, just finish off the crystal. Guess he believes his 1 Lightning Tiger will be enough. Has been taken out. Now he's got a lot of champions in his face, unfortunately, that he's got to deal with right now.
Yeah, Kamiko was really able to get a lot pushed out right there.
And unlike what we've seen earlier, it looks like it's actually all 3. We've got 1 Aqua Fist, 1 Winja, 1 Torture, so there's not going to be one attack that you can do that's going to be super effective against all of them, like when we've seen her stack up titles. And Austin's got double damage. Maybe he goes with squats, or it looks like it'll be the deadlift and maybe just try and rush down a gate or a crystal.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Obviously, Austin's powerhouse is going to be the water element, which would be legs. You got double damage time, load in your strongest one, and really go.
Yeah, he's got a title, a Rock Dude. Looks like his 3rd Lightning Tiger he's going to summon down on that right side. Just destroyed the gate. Could maybe even things up here at 4 crystals aside. Now we know that Andrew has his 5th crystal incredibly low.
Let's get our revenge by pushing extra hard.
Yeah, going back to, you mentioned the frost attacks, his strongest, just trying to get through this crystal. But it does look like Andrew has taken down his 5th crystal, so he's probably going to be able to pull this one out unless Austin has an insane burst of strength to get through this crystal and another one in the next 2 minutes.
Which would be next to impossible, but
he's got 1. 2 minutes to get through a gate and a crystal.
Oof.
That's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be pretty tough, but he's got a chance here. Unfortunately, I think even if he does that, I think the crystal he lost earlier in the game on the point tiebreaker would actually cost him, but if he gets a 5th crystal here, I mean, even with the loss, that would be incredibly impressive to be able to do that much damage that quickly and see what he wants to do. Another Sunbird. Those have had 0 luck for him, unfortunately.
They really have.
I wonder maybe if he ignored those earlier on, if he might have been a little bit closer, but he'll throw one out and just try and distract the boss maybe.
Andrew's got a lot happening on that right side right now.
First time we've seen Andrew have a decent bit of pressure in his face. It is an Aqua Fist and a title, so he's got the Spark Crows out for the super effective damage. Maybe he can go with a either a row or a lap pull down for the rest of the super effective damage. Just a lap pull down for the AoE, at least, on the 2 water champions.
Looks like he's going to summon another champion.
Austin's back on the squats, getting hystericals with 45 seconds left. He is trying his hardest.
I think if we had an award for the most squats used, it would definitely go to Austin. Guy does not skip leg day.
No, that I am incredibly impressed. Not only that he went back-to-back squats, but he got a hysterical with just 40 seconds on the clock. I mean, yeah, that is phenomenally impressive. I mean, he might be able to get a gate here I mean, he put a ton of damage into that left side gate. That Sunbird actually getting a ton of value this time. I think he got the gate down. I mean, he tried all he could to catch back up, I'll be honest.
He really did.
Came oh so close.
It looks like Andrew's just watching the clock run out.
I mean, 5 crystals for Andrew. He's got to feel pretty confident. 5 is on the higher end we saw tonight. So congratulations to Andrew. He'll be your victor. But yeah, I mean, most squats, almost biggest comeback for Austin. And that was incredibly impressive to lose a crystal and then fight all the way back to keep it pretty dang close against Andrew.
He really did. That was an impressive match.
So probably the great way to end it here for our portion of the night. Don't forget, this has all been supported by Bang Energy. If you're looking to something to fuel your next workout or a hike, if you want that sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, Bang is the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel. Big congratulations to Andrew on his victory. We'll have to see if it is him or Austin that is going to have our post-game interview. But a really impressive showing from all 8 competitors we saw tonight here in our Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational.
Absolutely. I think this has been absolutely great to watch. Yeah, I'm going to look forward to seeing everybody at the gym again and encouraging them. So there'll be lots of high fives and elbow bumps to go around.
I'm really excited to see the top 8. I mean, because, this was just the top 16. I mean, we haven't seen some of the competitors. We only featured 4 of the 8 matches. So I would love to see who's going to eventually be the champion because these guys are putting out just insane amount of reps. I mean, as you said, Austin probably did like 4 or 5 hysterical reps with his squats, as we see there. Andrew, the winner. We covered all of the left side games. So we have seen Andrew, Preston, Isaac, and Josh all advance. Those look like Chus Westerberg and Mr. Mojo have advanced on the right side. We aren't able to see those games. Maybe we'll see them in the next round, but a big congratulations to them doing it off stream. But it's been an awesome night for Black Box VR that I was talking to some people, and they really want to be able to get this into an esport. And I think that, if you play a video game, it's pretty easy to get in an esport. This really puts the sport in esport.
It really does, and that's what we want to do.
Let's get to our last post-game interview of the night here as we wrap things up from the Winter Invitational.
All right, I'm here with Andrew, post-battle interview. A couple questions for you today, Andrew. How do you feel about your performance today?
I think my performance was good. My strategy going into it, I wasn't as prepared as I needed to be, but next time.
Okay. That leads me to my next question. Is there anything that you would have done differently?
I would have set up my power-ups better. That's the big thing. So I would have had berserks instead of grenades. That would have helped a lot.
Oh, okay, so you had grenades instead of the berserk power. What grenades did you have? Supercharged at least?
I think it was just basic grenades. So basically
just basic grenades, folks. All right, well tell me a little bit about the boss that you faced today.
Okay, so he used a lot of tidal, so he's pretty heavy on water. He threw out 2 fire towers, 1 lightning tower, so that helped him a little bit, but thankfully my guys were able to combat that pretty well. Other than that, it seemed just his main focus was water and lightning.
Okay.
So,
well, good deal. Thanks for the time today, Andrew.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Sterling.
Thinking he could have maybe gone for 6 crystals. I mean, he seemed like he was like, dang, I wasn't as prepared as I wanted, because the berserk power-up, you throw down a bunch of lightning tigers and you use a berserk, it seemed like you could rip through a gate pretty quick. I think somebody did that one of our earlier matches.
Yeah, that would have changed things a lot for him and possibly given him an extra crystal.
But he didn't need it. He was the winner here, beating out Austin. So a big congratulations. As we see here, our top 8 starting to fill out. Looks like Andrew and Preston, a pair of competitors we saw, will be taking on each other, as well as Isaac and Josh. So be curious to see who is our last matchup we're still waiting on. Is Chuck Westerberg and Mr. Mojo have also advanced. So can't wait to see the top 8 get filled out and just how intense it's going to get as we get down to the championship of the Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational. But once again, if you haven't checked them out and you're in Boise, Zion's Bank Building, if you're lucky like I am, Amber will hook you up there and get you all ready to go, and it's going to be a blast. You're going to go to the gym and you're not even going to realize you're going to the gym.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun there. We really like to support each other, build a community, encourage each other to be healthy and fit, but I mean, we're also getting to do it with a video game, so it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I mean, there's never a time that you can feel better to tell your spouse, friends, or whatever, hey, I'm going to go play a video game, but hey, I'm going to get in shape while I'm doing it. You guys have fun, playing your video games on the couch and eating all those chips. But yeah, I highly recommend it. Blackbox-VR.com. Get more information. If you want to lose weight, if it's going to be your New Year's resolution anyway, that is going to be what you want to check out. Well, we are not done for the competition. We are done tonight, but we're going to be back next Friday for the top 8 because you want to come back because these 4 matches we had today were incredible and they're only going to get better. So come back next Friday for our top 8 of the Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational. But for tonight, that will wrap things up. So until next time, have a great evening.